We should be back now. We should be back now. Guys, I have no freaking clue what's going on, bro. I have no clue why on earth my stream or my OBS keeps on doing this. This is the second. It's only my OBS that does this, by the way. Nothing else does this. Nothing else. All right, let's finish though. My friend Elijah is debating the Orthodox Muslims, so I want to watch.
Injury is any harm, detriment, or damage caused to a person's body, mind, reputation, or property due to unintentional acts, negligence, or omissions of another. It constitutes a violation of a legally protected interest, serving as the basis for civil lawsuits to seek compensation.
You see how it's the violation of a specific. It's not talking about personal things like somebody being harmed.
So where does it?
It's in regards to the violation.
So where does it say here that, and if I injure someone, that means I'm taking away their personal right?
What? It's something that it's like owed to them. That's what you mean by rights.
Okay, so you do agree that injury in of itself does not entail taking away someone's right, just so we don't get stuck up.
That's literally what you just read, bro. When it's talking
about
that,
that is exactly what I just read.
What's the thing that's being violated?
So Elijah,
what's the thing that's being violated?
Pay attention, because every time I talk to you guys on TikTok, you guys are biblically illiterate.
I'm not even on
historically illiterate. Just listen.
Not even on TikTok.
You're biblically and historically illiterate, and you want to play games. So just to save you the time from your blunder, can we agree that an injury in of itself does not entail taking away someone's right?
An injury in regards to either way it goes, like this doesn't even matter.
I know it doesn't. That's why I'm just confused why we're so stuck up on this right now. It actually doesn't matter at all.
Might be time to switch to StreamYard. Maybe
if I'm telling you that this is what injury is, if I'm telling you that this is what it means,
but it's just not. It's just not how we use it conventionally. It's just people don't use the word injury.
Means multiple
take away
things.
Someone. Okay. Injury could mean multiple things, but I'm saying the way we use injury, okay, I've never heard anybody use injury to refer to taking away someone's law or someo's right.
This is live right now, guys. Just so y'all know. We're watching it live together.
We could just move on and you can make your argument. We don't have to use the word injury. But you asked me, do I believe God is just? Okay, I believe God is just. What does this have to do with proving Christianity to be true?
Yeah, hold on, give me 1 second. Like I said, I'm at work. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Why this man Elijah calling while he at work, bro?
Dude, hold on. Let me go on mute.
Elijah, why'd you call in while you at work, man?
These guys are so biblically and historically illiterate.
Guys, people are telling me to get in his queue. He'll literally just mute and kick me.
Okay. All right. So, God has the strict right to be the ultimate end of every rational creature's moral action.
Okay.
Right? That's something that's owed to God, right?
In other words, only God has the right to be worshipped.
Okay, cool. Sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God as its final end.
Was that a question?
That's the third statement that I'm making, saying that that's what sin is.
What's the third statement?
Sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God as its final end.
I don't agree.
That's not what sin is?
No, not necessarily.
What is sin?
If I sin that I'm worshiping someone other than God?
You're choosing something that's finite.
Bro, if you choose something over God, how is that not a sin?
Actions.
No, I don't agree. So
yeah,
so I just want you to clarify when you say that you're choosing something finite over God as the what did you say again?
If you choose God,
choosing something finite over God isn't a sin, guys.
Would you ever sin?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Exactly. So sin is when you choose something other than God.
Yeah, but when you choose something other than God, doesn't mean that you're all your acts are terminating, or all your moral acts are terminating on another thing preferable over God, right?
No, if you choose anything, all it says is that sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God, right?
Okay. Sin is to disobey God's law.
Yeah, that's when you don't
All
choose
right.
God.
So let's just leave it there. Sin is to disobey what God obligates you to do.
When you disobey, you're
That's
choosing
one sin.
something
That's not
other
the
than
only.
God.
That's
That's
not the
what
only thing that sin
disobedience
is, though.
whatever disobeying entails, let's just leave it at disobeying God. Continue.
That's what sin is. So therefore, sin violates God's strict right.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So the gravity
So
of violating
you could have just said sin is when you disobey God. All right, continue now.
you're not following this argument at all. This is amazing. So
You haven't even given an argument,
the
bro.
so the gravity of a wrong is proportional to the dignity of the person whose right is violated.
Sorry, say that one more time. The gravity of a wrong is what?
The gravity of a wrong is proportional to the dignity of the person whose right is violated.
I don't know what that means.
So when you wrong someone, right? Like say for instance, you're in Canada, right? I don't know what you guys have, like prime ministers or something.
Yeah.
So like if you go out and you're spreading dollar or whatever, and like you just got into a confrontation with whoever you guys got into a confrontation with,
Yeah.
right? You don't go to jail for that, right? Because the dignity of the person that you wronged isn't as high. But say, for instance, if you got into a confrontation with a prime minister, right, you might go to jail for that because the dignity of that person is a lot higher. Does that make sense?
Okay. Sure, I'm following. So
Okay.
what are you defining again here?
So
I don't know what they're debating yet. For
all I'm saying is that the gravity of a wrong, like the weight
when
of a
did
wrong,
Elijah
is
debate
going to
Right.
be
Douglas?
So,
It's right now.
if you harm a dog, it's not like harming a human being.
Sure.
All right. So you could have just said that, bro. You can. All right. Let's continue.
So the gravity of a wrong is going to be proportionate to the dignity of the person whose right is violated.
Sure.
God's dignity is infinite.
Okay.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That his dignity is infinite, that he is of infinite worth and value.
What does it mean to be infinite?
What?
To not have bounds, not be finite.
Yeah. So you're just giving me
what does it mean to be
definition?
Infinite?
Yeah. So I'm asking you, what does it mean for God to have infinite dignity? What is that?
That means that he
His
is
dignity to have no bounds.
Amazing worth of
right. So
boundless worth.
He is the most amazing being, and he has the most worth. Right.
He's not just most. There's no limit to his worth.
I don't know what that means.
What?
You don't know what no limit to his worth
Does his
means?
God have a limit on his worth?
I don't know. What is wrong with you?
If I was Elijah, I would just ask, does your God have a limit on his worth?
Yeah. So, first of all you have to do is to be able to understand, like, when something's worth.
We don't know infinite.
Like your computer, there's a limit to its worth. If I broke your computer, you can't come in and say you owe me $1 million, right? Because it's only worth so much. So,
yeah,
in regards to God,
so we're talking about monetary limit here. Okay, cool. So
this is just to help you understand the concept.
Remember, you said if you break your computer,
he's giving an analogy. Oh my gosh, he's so disingenuous, bro. He's so disingenuous.
Okay, well, yeah, my computer has a monetary limit, but what does it mean for God to have infinite limit or infinite dignity?
That means him as a person.
How is this hard to understand?
God is a person?
Right? Duh.
Oh, I thought he's 3 persons.
Now remember, guys, Orthodox Muslim thinks rocks are person. That's why he's confused.
There's no way you're this dense. Okay.
Is God 3 persons or what? Just 1 second. Is God 1 person or 3 persons? Is God 1 person or 3 persons?
Either way, God would still have to be a person.
You just said God is
either way, God would still have to be a person.
God is a person. A person means 1 person. Right?
Good thing God isn't a rigid designator.
So is God 1 person or 3 persons?
When we're talking about
just 1 second.
It depends what God is checking out, bro. This is so bad.
Dignity.
Just hold on. You were just giggling. You said God is
because you're unable to follow in a conversation.
I'm following perfectly fine. You said
no, you're not.
You said God is a person. Is that what you said?
Bro, if you're 3 persons, you're at a
You're
person,
a
bro.
person.
You have to be a
So
person if
God
it's
is
3
a.
persons.
So God is a person.
Holy.
You're
Yes,
an
Jesus is
idiot.
God
Is
and God
God
is a
a
person.
person or
Yes,
just three
bro. God's
persons?
a person, bro.
So
And
God
he's
is a
3
person.
persons. Yes.
So hold on. When you say God, what does that pick out?
The divine
Ooh.
nature.
The divine nature is a person?
No, when you're
You
talking
just
about
said God is a person, brother. Is a divine nature a person, Elijah?
the divine nature exists as 3 distinct
Okay.
persons,
When
Father,
you said
Son, and
when you said
Spirit.
when
So
you said
when
God
can
is
we
a
get back to the
no,
topic?
I would, but you giggled as if you did something. So now I'm gonna hold you to it because you were
What do
giggling
you,
like a little
bro?
girl.
You have no
You
idea
just
what's
said
going
you
on.
you just said
All I need
God
you to
is
do is
all right.
track
So
a
Elijah, you just
conversation
This
said
is
and you
why
be
God,
nobody
able to
takes
move
Elijah,
on.
Orthodox
don't run
Muslims
That's
away.
seriously
it.
anymore.
You're in a corner
Run
now.
away. I'm
You just
genuinely
said, all
asking
right.
you to go on with the
You just
conversation.
said, hey Elijah, you said God is a
Literally
person.
asking you to
You
continue the
just said
conversation.
God is
Is
a
this live?
person.
Yes,
What did
Lord.
you mean
Nah,
by
this is
that?
live.
When you say that God is a person, that means
Yes.
you could either pick out one of the persons that are God.
Okay.
Duh.
So when you
Like
said
when we talk
God,
about Jesus, the
okay,
divine
cool.
person, a person that is
Okay,
God that
okay,
died.
okay,
Duh.
beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So then when you said God is a person, you were just talking about a specific person of the Godhead, right?
But I'm sitting here talking to a
Just one
Unitarian.
sec. So Elijah, when you said
I'm
God is a
talking to
person,
you, a
when you said Elijah,
Unitarian.
don't backtrack now, please. Can you please stick?
No one's
You
backtracking.
said
I'm talking to you. I'm trying to help you understand something.
everybody can see that you're panicking now.
Oh, that's
With all
crazy.
due respect.
I'm
Whew.
trying to help
So,
you
so
understand
when you
something.
said God is a person,
Yeah.
you didn't mean God is a nature. So you take that back, and you
Bro,
meant
I'm literally
that you're
talking
talking
to
to.
you.
Okay, so remember when I asked you what does God pick out, you said divine essence. Do you still
That's
stand by that?
in normal. That's what God is going to pick out. But
Okay,
it's just going to
okay,
depend on
cool.
the context.
Okay,
You're
cool.
asking me a vague question.
So then Elijah, in this statement, God is a person, and
Bro,
God
I'm
there
talking to you,
picks
bro.
out the. You see
You
how
can
you
be
keep
referring to the
panicking?
Father,
And
Son, or
God
Holy
there
Spirit
picks
there.
out
Either
the
one.
divine nature. So then you could say God is a person with God there picking out the divine nature, right?
Okay. Like
Right?
none of this matters, bro.
No, yes or no?
I don't know what you mean by your
He
question.
doesn't know what I mean anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So
When
you
you're
said
saying that
God is. You
the
said God
divine
is a person.
nature, the
Remember,
divine nature. So in regards to, hold on,
let
in
me remind
regards
you.
to
You're everybody
Christianity,
can see it, man.
cool. In regards to Christianity, the
Everybody can
divine
see the
nature
blunder, man.
exists as 3 distinct persons.
We know
That's
that.
fine.
We know
Okay.
that.
So
You said God is a person. And when I asked you again, just to make sure I heard that right, you doubled down. You said, yes, God is a person. And you even laughed. You goofed. You said, oh, look at you, Orthodox Muslim. You're lost. Okay, cool. Then I asked you, what does God pick out in that sentence, on that statement? You said the divine nature. Okay. So then the divine nature is a person, right, Elijah?
the divine nature is identical to all 3 persons, bro.
Is the
So
divine nature a
obviously,
person?
bro,
Is the divine nature a person?
the divine nature is identical to all 3
Okay.
persons. But the
Is the
things that's
divine nature
proper,
a is the
the
divine nature
divine
a
nature
person?
itself is not a person.
So then
No,
you can't
bro.
say God is a person then, right, Elijah?
What?
No, that's
That's
incorrect.
if you. Oh, God
Okay,
can
so then
only
you
refer to
take
the
that back. You
nature.
were wrong, Elijah, right?
No, you just don't know what's going on.
Elijah, either God is a person or not, Elijah. Is God a person?
God, obviously, bro, God
Yes.
is a
Okay,
person because God is 3 persons.
so the divine nature
God,
is a person?
brother, the things that you say
The
about the
nature
divine
Is the
isn't the
nature
only
and
divine
the
thing
nature
things that
God
is
you,
picks out.
the divine
the
Holy.
nature a
divine
person,
nature, brother,
Elijah? Is the divine nature a person, Elijah?
the
Is the
divine
divine
nature,
nature a person, Elijah?
the divine nature is not a person,
So then you
bro.
can't say God is
The
a person,
divine
then, Elijah,
nature is
right?
identical to the persons, though. So you can
Nice. So
obviously
then,
properly say that
so
God,
then,
hold on, just don't cut
go
me
ahead.
off. So you
Go
might
ahead.
learn something. So you can obviously say that God is a
I think
person.
you're the one learning here, man.
God is 3 persons. That's
Okay,
fine.
beautiful. So then, can you say God is a person, Elijah?
Yes, bro. You can say that God
Okay.
is a person,
And
bro.
what does God pick out there?
The divine person, bro. We can move on.
The divine person?
Sure. A
Okay.
divine person, bro.
Okay,
Come
cool.
on.
So then, okay, cool. So
Can we
then
move
when
on
you
with the
said no,
topic?
you're not gonna run away because you giggled. Remember, you laughed. When
Yeah,
I
because this is
when I tried
funny.
when I tried to correct you, you laughed. So now I'm gonna make you
You
I'm
didn't
gonna
correct anything.
I'm gonna force you to admit that you were wrong because you laughed. Okay.
Bro,
So now let's
what
take
are
it
you
back.
talking about?
Everybody can see what I'm talking about, Elijah. It's only
I
you
can't see
because
what
you're
you're
panicking.
talking about.
This is
Even
so
your friend
bad.
Nick, who's about to get baked in a second after you, can see it.
Mhm.
He's watching in the comments. So
That's
listen, Elijah.
fantastic.
You
I'm gonna
said
get
God
baked
is a
after.
person.
Is he coming
Do
to
you
my
stand
live
by
or
that,
something?
Elijah?
Because who said I was going to his live?
Yes, bro. What
Okay.
how
And
many
did
times
you-
you gonna
and
ask me
did
the
I'm
you
living
same
in Edwards
question?
had rent
Because you
free. I'm
keep
just
just
watching my friend.
cutting me off and you keep
It said
bitching.
rent free.
Well, instead of staying on comments, so stop bitching and stick to the line of questioning. So yes,
Oh,
you
look,
said
he's
Dang,
crying.
God
Elijah,
is a
you
person.
cussing? That's tough.
Yes. Do you have a problem with that, Elijah?
I was just
That's what I thought.
surprised, bro.
That's what I thought. So
Good
anyways,
shot.
so you said God is a person.
Why you so
You
upset?
doubled down on that. Then I asked you, what does God pick out? You said the
Are
divine
you
nature.
sweating?
So did you make a mistake there?
Why are you sweating?
I'm sweating so hard, man. Did you make a
Yeah,
mistake
why
there,
are you
Elijah?
sweating, bro? It's
Elijah,
a
don't
simple
Elijah,
conversation.
don't run away from the
Right
question,
before I
Elijah.
came up here, you said it shouldn't be
Elijah,
this
That
hard
boy's
for
sweating
people to
is
defend
crazy.
Christianity.
And
I
it-
brung
it's-
up
it's-
one.
and it's
I
super-
brung
it's
up
super
one
hard.
argument.
Okay,
You got
Elijah,
scared.
Elijah,
Brung
are
up
you-
the second
Elijah, I'm not-
argument.
Elijah,
I'm giving
not
you
gonna-
a
I'm
second
not gonna mute
chance
you.
at this.
Elijah, can you
Cool,
answer
you
the
don't have to
question?
mute me.
You
You
said
don't
God
have
is
to
a,
mute me.
you said God is a person. Okay, cool. Then I asked you, what does God pick out? You said the divine nature. Were you wrong, or do you still stick on that?
Obviously, God's going to either pick out the divine nature, divine person. It just depends on the context that you're speaking about.
In that statement, I was asking you about that statement when you said God is
Well,
a
if
person.
you're asking me what,
I
if you're just
asked-
asking me a
I'm
vague question,
speaking-
like what
I'm
does
speaking.
God?
Can you stop? Can you
If,
stop cutting me off?
my fault.
I'm speaking. You said God is a person. I said, what does God pick out in that sentence? You said, the divine nature.
You didn't say what does God
You
pick out in
said-
that sentence.
Yes, I did.
No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did. And if I
No, you
didn't
didn't.
say that, then it's implied in the context. Because we're talking
It's
about
not implied
that
in the
sentence.
context.
We're talking about that sentence that you made. God is
It
a
wasn't
person.
implied in the context.
You said God is a person. I said, what does God pick out? That's not implied?
No,
It's not implied?
no.
Holy shit, you're so disingenuous. So when I asked
God
you,
doesn't have to
what does God
designate
pick
only
out?
one thing, bro.
And you said the divine
just-
nature, okay? We
Whew.
weren't talking about your statement that God is a person?
Brad, I don't
We
know.
weren't talking about that, Elijah? Because
We were talking about whether or not God is a person. Yeah,
Right.
but the
And when I
question,
asked- and when I asked you what
the
God picks
question,
out,
what
did you
does
say the
God,
divine-
brother?
did you
We
say
were
the
just
divine
sitting. We were just sitting here talking
you
about
say-
injury,
know,
and you
I
start
know.
talking
Did
about
you
people
say-
getting their
did you
legs
say-
broken and stuff.
Exactly, because you said
Yeah,
injury,
because you
right?
don't know what's going
Anyway,
on. That's why.
I clearly don't know. When you said
Exactly.
God
Thank
is
you.
a
You have no
person,
idea what's going
My
on.
comments
I
were
don't.
That's why you're
frozen, so
sweating.
just give me a
have
sec.
no idea.
I can see the
No,
sweat around your nose.
I'm
You're
sweating
not
so
moving
hard.
anywhere.
So
Oops.
Elijah, can you please stop
Bro
going
said he
somewhere
could
else and
see the
stick
sweat on
around?
his
I'm
nose.
literally
He
trying to
baking.
continue the
Stop
conversation.
talking
He's
about anything
baking.
else.
Cool.
Stick
Let's
on
go
God-
back to the
stick
conversation.
on God as a person, please.
Okay, bro.
Because you laughed, and I'm gonna make you
Cool.
admit that you were wrong.
Brother,
So
you
so
asked
you-
me to
so
here,
you
you're gonna ask
said-
me the same question
so you-
again?
No, I'm gonna ask the next question now.
Okay,
You
what's the
said
next
God
question?
is a person. When you said God picks out the divine nature there, were you wrong?
No, bro.
You weren't wrong?
No, because the
Okay.
persons are identical to the essence.
Beautiful. So the divine nature is a person.
No, because the
So then you
persons
were
are
wrong.
because
So
the persons
so
are
then you were wrong.
virtually distinct from the essence. So the things that you say about the persons are going to be different from the things that you say about the essence, but that
that's
doesn't
fine.
mean that they are not
That's-
identical.
That doesn't really. That
If you
doesn't
knew
answer-
what you,
that does-
it
that
actually does
doesn't-
answer your
that does-
question.
it
If you knew
actually
what you were
doesn't. So
talking,
here-
if you
so
knew
here-
what you
so
were
here-
talking about,
so
you
here's
would
the-
move
so
on.
here- So here's the question. Again, because them being virtual, the essence being virtually identical doesn't answer anything.
He doesn't know what virtual identity
you
is
say-
for
identical.
sure.
This
Did you
dude's
say the
lost.
divine
Oh
nature?
my days, he's lost.
Did you say the divine nature is a person?
What's virtually identical?
Did you say the divine nature
I'm
is a
glad
person?
Elijah
What is
asked,
virtually
bro.
identical?
Did you say the
He
divine
does
nature is a
it,
person? Stop running.
though.
What is virtually
Did
identical?
you say the divine nature is
He
a
does
person?
not.
those
He
words
won't.
never
He
came
won't
out of my
answer.
mouth. What is virtually
Okay.
identical?
Did you say the divine
This is why
nature
I
is a
won't go up
person?
on his
I
panel,
just
by the
answered
way,
that.
guys,
No,
because he
those
won't
words
answer
never
this.
came out of my mouth. What is
Okay,
virtually
so
identical?
then God cannot pick out the divine
Exactly.
nature.
No, you're wrong. You want to
So
give
it
the
can't.
argument for that?
So it can pick out the
Do you
divine
want to
nature.
give the argument for that?
I didn't make a statement.
This
I'm
is
following
exactly
You
why I
didn't make
would
a
not
statement.
go up
So
on his
God
live.
cannot be a person.
I'm
Hold on.
following you to your entailment.
Wait, how do I-
God
You said-
cannot be a person.
that's a-
Isn't
This is exactly why I won't go up on his live, guys, because he can ask Elijah any questions he wants, but Elijah cannot ask not one question back.
a
question.
statement.
That
Now
was a
that's-
question. That
That's
was
a question. What's the
that was a-
question there?
Let me make it live.
Which
I said it
means-
can't mean divine
which
nature.
means-
When did I
which
say that?
means- Sir, you said it can't. Then you said it could.
When?
So now,
When?
just right now. Stop
No,
cutting me off. So let me tell you.
I
So
said it
clearly you
can't
can't.
mean
Brother,
divine nature.
can you stop cutting me off? You see how you were calm and quiet, and when you blundered,
Someone said
you
make
started losing
it,
your mind.
frick. Oops. Bro,
Started losing your mind.
why is it doing this?
Stop losing your
I hate YouTube so
mind.
much.
It's okay. You blundered.
I'm trying to, all right, let me just do
and
this.
go back to your injury
I'm
nonsense.
genuinely trying to make
Okay.
this better quality for y'all,
So,
but it's tripping out right now.
When you say God is a,
The highest quality is 1080p. What y'all talking about?
Just for
Y'all
clarity,
lied to me.
please.
That is the
Can
highest
God
quality.
in this statement
Someone said
pick
Nick
out
is
the
nervous. How
divine
can I be
nature?
nervous by watching a debate? That don't even make any sense.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
Lord have mercy.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you say God is a person,
Mhm.
can God here pick out the divine nature?
But you can here. We'll just say when we're talking about God as
Lord
a
have
person,
mercy.
when we're talking about God as a person, that's just going to pick out the divine persons.
Okay, so that's not what I asked. Can it there pick out the divine nature?
It can. It
And
doesn't have to.
that statement is God a person. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, so in that statement, it's just going to pick out the divine persons, bro.
Okay, I said, can it pick out the divine nature?
Can it pick out the divine? It just depends as to what you mean.
Okay, in any sense, can it pick out the divine nature?
I mean, yeah, there's some respects where it could pick out the divine nature, bro.
Okay, so in some respects, the divine nature is a person.
Oh,
It's a multi-personal
holy
entity.
category.
That's not what I asked. In some respect, the divine nature is a person, right?
I'm good. 1 second, man. In regards to the divine nature, it's gonna pick out the multi-personal entity.
Didn't
So yeah,
ask
it
that.
would be
I said
that's what it would be
I
speaking
didn't,
about, bro.
but I didn't ask that though. You said in some respect, God is a person. God in that statement can be replaced with divine nature. Okay, cool. So then in some respect, we could say divine nature is a person, right?
Obviously, if the persons are
Why
identical
did you
to the
stop?
divine nature.
Stop stuttering, man. It's a very simple
Obviously, if the
question.
divine nature is identical to the persons.
So then,
like,
so the divine nature is a person in some sense, right?
it just depends as to what you mean, bro.
Okay, so in some sense, the divine nature is a person, right?
Oh my God, you're just asking me the same question.
Okay, I didn't get an answer.
answer.
We didn't hear an answer.
I answered this question
So
8 times,
Elijah,
bro.
in some sense, the divine
How many
nature
times are
is
you
a,
gonna ask me the same?
Elijah.
Why don't you go back? Why don't you go back? Watch the clip.
Elijah already said, yeah.
Why don't you go back?
Here's
watch
Elijah.
the
Stop.
clip.
Why are you panicking, dude?
No one's
Just
panicking.
answer
You're
the
asking
question.
me the same
Elijah,
question
in
over
some
and
sense,
over and
Elijah,
over
in
again.
some sense, is the divine nature a person?
Maybe rewind 30 seconds and figure out what I said.
Can you just give me a yes or no? In some sense, is
Why don't you
divine nature a person?
rewind 30 seconds and figure out what I
Wow,
said?
it's crazy. He doesn't know how to answer anymore. In
I'm
some
giving you
sense,
an answer.
is
I
the
said, why
divine
don't you
okay?
rewind now
Here's the
45
question because I don't
seconds?
hear a yes or a no. In some sense,
Well, because I
is
answered
the
you like
divine
6 times.
in some okay, we want to hear it one more time. In some
No, I'm
sense,
not gonna sit here and just
in some-
answer the same
in-
question 80 million times. bro.
okay, so let me repeat your answer. So Elijah Johnson, you agree that in some sense the divine nature is a person, correct?
Depends what we're talking about, bro. That's
Is
it.
that a yes?
That just depends as to what you're talking
Is
about.
that a
It's
yes?
not difficult, bro.
Yeah, I said in some sense.
Okay, go back, watch the clip so you can see. Can
In
we
any,
move on?
oh Lord have mercy. In any sense, Elijah is a divine nature a person.
Right, it depends as to what you're talking about. The
So
persons
there-
are so
so there
because
is
the
a
person
sense. So
here,
there is
because
a
the
sense.
persons are identical to the divine
Elijah,
essence, if that's what you
I'm gonna give you one more chance. I muted you. One more chance, bro. In some sense, is the divine nature a person? Yes or no?
because the persons are identical
I
to
didn't
the
hear a
essence.
yes or a no.
If you can listen for the answer, because the person
Mute again. In some sense, is the divine nature a person? Yes or no?
With no clarification. No, do not qualify.
can
He
I
love
answer?
that.
Yes. With a yes or no, then you could
Cool.
continue.
Do not qualify.
So insofar.
No, is that a yes
no,
or
I
no?
said I already said it. Insofar.
That's why I
Is
won't
that
go
a
up on his
yes?
live. He'll just mute me like he did
Yes,
Elijah.
insofar as
That's a
the
yes?
nature how many times are you gonna ask me the same question?
You're saying it quietly, like you're shy of it. Just say yes. The divine
Yes,
nature.
yes,
a
insofar
person.
as the nature is
Beautiful.
identical to the persons. Yes, bro.
Beautiful.
Dang.
So the divine nature is a person, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Can-
And so
He doesn't
far,
even
that's
understand
identical to
what
the
he's
person.
saying.
The divine nature is a person. All right. All right, Elijah. You can continue with your
None of his
argument now.
slow little viewers
Okay.
understand what he's saying either.
Jesus Christ, man. So, proportionate satisfaction has to be equivalent to the weight of the injury it repays, or the weight of the wrong that it repays.
Bro, just finish. Go ahead with your argument, then I'll tell you what I agree with, disagree with.
God's dignity. Oh,
He's-
you disagree with God's dignity being infinite.
He's
That's what
not
you
gonna-
disagree with.
Just finish, bro.
He said,
Then-
just
then
finish and
we'll
I'll address
talk.
it. He's not going to remember any of the
Okay.
premises.
So God's dignity
None
is
of them.
infinite. Therefore, the injury of sin
Watch,
against
I
God
promise at the
is
end he says,
of
okay, well, let's
infinite
go back
weight,
to this. Can you
or
say it
the
again?
wrong
Watch,
against God
watch.
is of infinite weight. That's the conclusion for that part.
All right. So how does that prove Christianity?
We're gonna move on to the next part. I need to.
All right, hold
That's
on.
the
My
end
my
of it.
chat
Just make the argument,
froze
brother.
again,
I'll
so give me a
Well,
sec.
that's the end of that syllogism.
All right.
Like,
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
you-
Make the case for Christianity.
Can you
and
tell
I'll
me
answer.
if you agree or disagree with these
I'll
premises?
tell you after you make your whole argument.
Okay, so it's broken up into multiple arguments. This
All
is
right.
the second.
Then I'll tell you. Then I'll
This
tell
is the
you.
second syllogism.
No, this is
bro.
not an
Just
old
tell
video,
me
this
if
is
you
live.
agree or disagree.
Keep going. At the end, I'll tell you what I disagree with and I agree with.
He's not going to remember any of it.
Because I don't have that much time, bro. So proportionate
No,
satisfaction.
you're not gonna run away, by the way, and make an excuse.
Great,
that I don't have enough
fantastic, bro.
time
If
when
you
you're
didn't
getting
waste
caught,
10
okay?
minutes of my time,
Well,
we wouldn't been here. So
well,
proportionate
well,
satisfaction.
he's joined for a reason.
Proportionate satisfaction must be equivalent in weight to the wrong that it repays. The wrong of sin has infinite weight from conclusion 2. Therefore, proportionate satisfaction of sin requires an act of infinite efficacy. Every purely created act is finite in itself. A finite act cannot be equivalent to the injury of an infinite weight. Therefore, no creature can offer proportionate satisfaction
Okay,
for
what's the
sin.
inference rule?
An act of infinite efficacy can only flow from an infinite
And what was the inference rule of
person.
that?
The only God is infinite, obviously. Therefore, only God can perform an act of infinite efficacy capable of proportionate satisfaction. Satisfaction, yeah. So we could just, we could just stop.
So in simpler terms, just for the audience, God needs an infinite sacrifice to atone.
What?
He
Can I
didn't even
finish?
bring that up.
You need you need an infinite sacrifice.
He didn't even
to
bring up the
atone
sacrifice, bro.
for a sin against an infinite being with infinite dignity, right?
You say you need? Yeah. So
God, because he's of so infinite dignity, a mere finite creature cannot give him a satisfactory sacrifice. Therefore, you need somebody who is infinite to give somebody who's infinite an infinite sacrifice to atone for
no, I
sin.
never said anything about sacrifices.
Okay, so you need somebody infinite to atone for somebody infinite.
Not for somebody infinite. No. So when you wrong someone, the
Mhm.
weight of your wrong is dependent upon the dignity of the person.
Mhm.
God is infinite, so the weight of your wrong is infinite. So for you to pay for your debt, right, you need to offer something infinite, pretty
Mm.
much.
Mm.
But you are finite. So
Okay.
because
I got you.
God,
I got you.
so wait. Because God is just, as you agreed, God requires the satisfaction of all debts, pretty much all wrongs.
Okay, I got you. Beautiful. So let me just grant that for a second. Okay. Can you
Okay.
show me? Can you show me that set up in the Old System or in the Old Testament?
What?
Show you what?
What?
That line of reasoning. Can you show that present in the Old Testament?
That's so irrelevant.
Yeah, bro. The fact that
Mhm.
the blood of bulls and goats and finite things doesn't actually atone for sin.
It doesn't atone for sin. Where does the Old Testament say that?
Yeah, God doesn't delight in those things.
God doesn't delight.
No.
Sorry, hold on, Elijah. You said
That's literally a
that
Bible verse, by the way.
God does not accept sin offerings from animals.
I don't think he said accept.
What? No. Where are you
Okay.
getting this
So
from?
you
Like,
just
yo, this is
said
crazy.
in order to have your sin done against an infinite being
Slow.
forgiven, you need an infinite offering or an infinite act of forgiveness, right?
This is, brother. First of all, I'm giving you an argument based on
Lord
reason.
have mercy. Right. I
And
just
no, that's
said,
not what I said.
so Elijah, you're all over the place. Elijah, just remember, I granted you it. Okay. Let's say your reasoning follows.
Okay,
Your
cool.
conclusion follows from the set of premises. Let's grant that for a second. Even if your
Okay.
conclusion follows from the set of premises, it does not mean that's what is taught in the Old Testament.
What?
Do you understand?
What does that, bro?
So can you show that your valid
Objection,
and
Your Honor.
sound
Relevancy.
argument is what the Old Testament considers?
Brother, if first of all, that wouldn't even be a requirement. If you're already granting me this argument, saying
No. So
hold on,
again,
hold on.
Elijah, pay attention. Just because you could, you're cutting out, brother.
Yeah, hold on. My phone's gonna die. Hold on.
All right.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you
Can you
ready
hear me? I
now?
have to take out my headphones.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
shoot. All right.
So pay
Can you hear me or
attention.
no?
Yes, brother, I could hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So pay attention. Just because I'm granting that your argument is valid and sound, it doesn't mean. Are you okay, brother?
Yo, why did Elijah
If
start
you're
laughing,
granting
bro?
that it's sound, you're saying that it's true, which means that
Bro,
Christianity
Elijah's
is
goofy,
true and
bro.
you're cooked.
No, it
Appreciate
doesn't
you,
mean.
gang.
That's why I'm
Appreciate
explaining
you,
it
bro.
doesn't-
God bless you.
Are you gonna listen or are you gonna run away?
Hey man, you spreading the gospel every day. You go
Are you
ahead and
gonna-
do
are
that.
you
You
gonna
just
run
you
away,
just
Elijah?
proved
Amen.
Christianity true. Amen,
Are
bro.
you gonna run
Amen.
I
away?
appreciate you. You was a
All
good
right.
interlocutor, bro.
Are you gonna run away, Elijah?
Run away? You just said, hey, everything that you said is true.
I
But
didn't say that.
cool.
I
What
said I
that
was-
mean
I
about
said-
Christianity, bro?
I
It's
said I was-
like, what
I
are
said
you
I was
talking
grant-
about?
Bro
If
said I
you
just
was
knew the
admitted there needs
words
to be
that
an
you was
infinite
actually
sacrifice.
saying,
I said
you
I
wouldn't
was-
have
I
said
said-
such things.
I said I was granting it for argument's
A
sake,
Muslim
Elijah,
says
and
there
you
ne-
cut me
there
off in the
he
middle of
grants there
explaining.
needs
So
to be
are
an
you gonna run
infinite
away or you
sacrifice.
gonna
You
engage?
said that argument is valid and
Are you
sound.
are you
Do you
are
know
you
what that
gonna
means?
are you gonna
Brother,
let me
amen.
finish? Are you
You
gonna
know what
engage?
valid and sound
Hey,
means?
brother, if you don't want to engage, you could leave. It's okay. Do you want to engage?
Yeah. Do you know what valid and sound means?
Yes.
Bro,
do you
What,
want?
is,
why
what
is-
does
Do
it
you want
mean?
it? I'll tell you what it means. Just tell me. Are
My
you gonna
camera's
engage?
blurry, chat.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Okay. It means that I'm granting you that it logically follows and that it's sound. It corresponds to reality. I'm gonna
That means
grant
it's
that.
true.
Okay. That's exactly what corresponding to reality means.
So it's true.
Exactly. So you're
I'm
saying
gonna-
that the
so now-
argument is true.
Can I finish?
So if the argument is
Oh,
true,
can I-
then
can I-
Christianity is true.
Can I finish without you cutting
You
me off?
just said that Christianity is true.
Are you gonna let me finish without you cutting me off?
Appreciate you, bro. Go ahead. Say what you need to say.
Are you gonna run away, Elijah?
Say what you need to say. Go ahead.
You gonna run away?
Say what you need to say. Go ahead.
All right. So mute up. Thank you. So even if I were to grant you that an argument is valid and follows, let's grant that for argument's sake. It doesn't mean that the Old Testament has that reasoning in mind. Because it could be the case that the Old
But that's
Testament doesn't
even if the
correspond to
even if the
reality.
Old
Is that
Testament
right, Elijah?
didn't have that argument in mind, that's irrelevant.
You have me muted, but go ahead.
Elijah, could it be the case that the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality?
Not if the premises are true, bro. Christianity is true.
No, the premises don't include that the Old Testament is valid or not. The
Yeah,
Old
because
Testament
it's an
is
argument
not-
from
the
reason.
the Old Testament doesn't include, or the argument doesn't include whether the Old Testament is valid or not.
Crazy.
So
man.
now let me ask you, Elijah, could it be the case? Is it possible that the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality?
Sure. So you just want me to show you this in the Old
Unless
Testament?
it's a
bro?
metaphor. then
Beautiful.
no.
So do you agree that if the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality, then it wouldn't prove Christianity true?
What?
No, but I could just show you in the
What?
Old
You
Testament.
just hold, so Christianity can be true
Bro,
and the Old
please.
Testament doesn't. Let me finish.
Oh my God.
Let
I
me
could just
finish.
show you in the Old.
Bro,
My
he
phone's
does
about
not
to
understand
die.
what's
You're
going on.
literally
Please, bro.
You're getting caught, and you keep cutting me off, bro. Stop cutting me off.
No, if
So
it's
do you-
showing you,
Stop
if
cutting
it's
me-
showing
stop
you,
cutting me. Stop cutting me off, bro. What's wrong with you? Just relax.
He's been cutting him off this whole time.
So Elijah,
And that's
I just asked you, is it possible the Old Testament doesn't correspond with reality? You said yes. Then I asked you, if that's the case, then it doesn't mean Christianity is true. Then you said no. So then are you saying that it could be that Christianity is true while the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality, Elijah?
no, because if Christianity is true, then the Old Testament is true. Obviously.
Ah, okay,
So-
good. Thank you. So in the case that the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality, your argument doesn't prove Christianity true, right?
No, if the argument proves Christianity is
What?
true, then the Old Testament is
Brother,
true,
pay
obviously.
attention,
So.
brother. You're all over the place. If the Old Testament doesn't correspond to reality, then your argument doesn't prove Christianity true, right?
No, bro, because the
So it
argument
does prove Christianity true, even if the Old Testament
There's
doesn't
no
correspond to
way, bro.
reality.
if
There's no way
Christianity is
folks can
true,
be
then
this
the
dumb.
Old Testament is
That's
true.
that's question begging.
Will
that's
this be
question
prohibited?
begging.
No.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's not, because I
It
just gave you an
is. You're
argument that you
assuming
said
that
is true.
Christianity is true, and I'm saying your argument has a
Lesbian
pre-assumption
guy
that the
needs to
Old
chill. I'm
Testament
dead.
corresponds with reality, right?
No, it doesn't. I never mentioned the
Oh my
Old
God.
Testament in the
Oh, the
argument.
Old Testament doesn't have to
The
correspond
Old
with reality.
Testament's irrelevant for this
Did
argument
anything in my
specifically.
argument say anything about the Old Testament?
That's why
His
I'm
argument
clarifying.
didn't say anything
Does
about the Old
your
Testament.
argument require the Old Testament to correspond with reality?
The argument doesn't talk about the Old Testament.
I'm asking you,
There's
does your
no
argument
way.
require that the Old
This
Testament
is the worst
correspond with
red
reality?
herring
The argument proves that the
I've
Old
ever
Testament
seen,
corresponds
bro.
with
The
reality.
argument doesn't even talk about an
How?
Old Testament.
But
The
if it
argument
proves,
is the argument
thank you,
is
because if the
purely
argument
reason.
proves that Christianity is
Lord
true,
have-
then if
Lord have
Christianity is
mercy.
true, then the Old Testament is
guy
true.
you are literally
Someone said
so
Nick
brain
Juju
dead
is
and
baking
lost.
Jake. Where,
You have
Dominic?
no idea what's going on.
Elijah,
Where,
pay
Dominic?
attention. Does your argument require that the New and the Old Testament are univocal and correspond with reality?
Okay, I don't know if you were listening to. I'll tell you.
Sir,
Just
sir,
listen. Just listen.
I know.
listen.
I need an answer, bro.
No. So what the
Does
argument
your-
does? No. What the
no,
argument
you're not-
does?
You're not running away. Does your argument require that the New and Old Testament both are univocal and correspond with reality?
No. The argument
No,
proves.
they don't.
Hold on. Wait. The argument
Lord,
proves that the Old Testament and New Testament correspond
Sir,
with reality.
the argument.
That's what the argument proves. If Christianity is true, bro.
Sir, you're literally like big blunder right now. The argument is purely from reason. It is not connected to any revelation, because anybody else with a different set of revelation than you can make the same argument and
Okay.
believe that the
I think the chat went away again. I don't know why it does that. It's genuinely pretty
infinitely
annoying.
worth God requires an infinite sacrifice, and he doesn't have to be a Christian. I could just make up a religion and believe in an infinite God who requires an infinite sacrifice, and it wouldn't be Christianity, and the argument would work for me, right?
There we go.
But if you
Right?
make up, yes, it would. Because
Yes,
if you make
so
up,
it doesn't prove Christianity to be true, right?
no, it does, bro. You're just
Oh
saying.
my gosh.
Thank you.
That is
Thank
insane.
you. Bye-bye.
He
Lord
tells
have
Elijah
mercy.
not to run, but then he runs. He
This
just
guy
kicks him
is
off.
all over the place, bro. Yes,
Wow.
no, maybe. I'm not sure. In the middle.
I'm gonna
What
wait
is
like
going
30
on?
seconds, see if he
Like,
lets him
what
back
is
up or not.
actually going on, bro?
If he doesn't let him back up, we'll
Holy
move on.
crap, you're so confused. You are
We'll see if he
so
lets him back up.
confused. Let's see if his friend can do better. I'm going to bring you up. I need the most compelling evidence
Who's his friend?
for Christianity. He just left.
I was never there.
Fearless Truth just disconnected from the request.
It's not
box.
me. I'm not even there. Is he dumb?
What happened, man?
Is he stupid? Y'all
Why
can
did
see my.
Fearless
Is he
Truth,
dumb? That's not
as I was
actually
about to
me.
click bring up, disconnect. Oh, did he come back? Okay.
That's not me. That's not me.
All right. Can you hear me?
He's so dumb, bro.
How can you look at yourself in the mirror knowing you lied?
It's not even me,
Huh?
bro.
I trusted you.
Okay, so that's not even him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. So hopefully everybody followed exactly. what
Yeah,
happened
I'm
there.
dead.
The back-to-back blunders, bro.
Yeah, I'm so dead, bruh. That's funny. That is funny. Obviously it's not me, man. Lock in. Bro really thought. Bro really thought. Yo, someone said Juju's debating Jake. Where? How can you look yourself in the mirror and know you lied? Yeah, that's funny. Timothy Charles Super Chat. Allah demands I sin, and I sin in my sinning. That means you talking to the devil, brother, not God. Apostolic Apprentice Nick, I beg you to request up. I'd rather bang my head against a brick wall. Inverted says he derailed the conversation so badly. Oh, I know. It's always does. Why is it streaming 1080p, not 1440? I don't know. I did my normal stuff. I'm not sure, bro. The newbie here's $2 just cuz. Appreciate you, bro. God bless. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. I put the link in the comments. Anyone wants to come up and debate, please only request if y'all disagree, though. Let me put it down here right quick. Oops. Not what I meant to do, bro. Frick. Joined if you. What y'all think about that debate, man? I'm just curious. Oh, dear Lord, have mercy, man. Loki Chico with a $1 super chat. God bless. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, Nick, can I have Elijah come up and talk about the debate? Yeah, of course. Of course. Sure, man. Sure, man. Every time I listen to Duck Lips, I feel like they're... Yeah, I know. It's bad, guys. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. W. Eli. Yeah, man. W. Eli. It's just... Bro, it's so bad. W. Cynical. I've never seen anyone send a 99-cent super chat. The lowest super chat I've seen is $1. Bro has the record for the lowest super chat sent. God bless you, though, Cynical. You the GOAT. You the GOAT. I'm so dead, bro. Economy, you're right. I'm so dead. We need Elijah to do a post-game interview for real. I think he's at work right now, though. Because he was talking about how he was at work and whatnot. Things of that nature. Juju is teaching Jake on his live on TikTok. It's on TikTok? Bro, how do I wait? Can I watch TikTok videos on... Let me see. Can I watch TikTok videos? The link don't work? Oh, frick. Hold on. Let me try this link then. Maybe that one will work. I just pinned a new one. Oh, wait. Is this it right now?
Listen.
No.
Okay, in case you weren't listening, I just explained it to you. It's when you interpret, you have a model such that the statements come out true.
Hold on. Wait.
Right? Which statement is Leibniz's law?
What do you mean, which statement? It's not a statement.
Which of the
He already
Trinitarian
don't know nothing,
statements?
bro.
Bro, we just went through this.
Hold on, Elijah. Let me
Yeah,
watch
you
this.
don't
I'm gonna let
understand
you
what
up.
you're saying. Let's move on from that.
You
You don't understand what you're saying.
You just admitted that there are Trinitarians that believe that they are asserting that the Father is identical to God, and by identity, that is the classical absolute identity, which is an equivalence relation, which everything.
Hey, this is a good day to watch debates, guys.
And which satisfies.
Wait, can I make this bigger?
Leibniz's law.
Kinda.
You just admitted that there are people.
Can I
who
move
hold
the
that
chat
position.
over? I don't really care about the chat.
It's
That-
not.
wait.
When you say hold
Now
that
we can't
position,
see. Now we
again, I'm
can't
going
see
to have to
Juju.
explain
Hold
it
on.
to you again. You don't
Can
understand
I,
what's
like...
going on. When you say the person
Frick.
believes something, there's no in logic. It's formalizing something isn't a belief. There's just a model, or there's a formalization.
Well, just so y'all know, it's
of
Juju that's
something,
debating him right now,
There's an
guys.
interpretation.
There's an interpretation function. Do you know what that is? It's
No,
not
he
just an
doesn't.
And we're
interpretation.
talking about the interpretation, genius.
No,
He
okay.
doesn't know what an
That's what we're
interpretation
talking
There's a
function is.
difference between, there's a difference between, broadly speaking, interpretation and an interpretation function. Do you know what that is?
No, he
We are
doesn't.
talking about the interpretation of the statement.
Yeah, okay. The interpretation of the statement in the model, in the formalization, it's governed by an interpretation function. You take the statements in, and it indexes an interpretation to each of the objects in the domain. That's what a model is.
You already admitted that there are Trinitarians who interpret the statement as an identity relation.
This is just a
which
teaching lesson, low
satisfying
key.
Leibniz's law. You
There are-
already admitted that.
Okay, are there Muslims who have false beliefs?
Of course.
Okay, and what you're saying, and what I'm telling you is that formalizing a set of statements using identity leads to a falsum, which leads to a belief we don't believe, or derive something we don't believe in. So, is it an issue that a Christian may formalize something a certain way and it derives some contradiction?
Yeah, that means that his belief would be false.
Okay, just like there are some Muslims who have false beliefs, right? But we don't care,
Exactly.
right? But we don't care about the people who do have false beliefs, right? We care about the
Yes,
true
we do.
beliefs.
Yes, we do.
Okay, why do we
Yes,
care
we
about
do.
that?
That's why you are so slow, dude. You're not catching up. The whole discussion about the LPT is we are talking about what is possible and what is common in terms of the
Which he admitted the
interpretation
Trinity
of
model is
these
possible.
Statements. That's the
Possible.
whole point.
Possible considering what modality?
Bro, you're not listening here. You're saying
I'm
that
repeating
us
to you the word you
you're
used.
You're saying
What?
no, you're confused. You're
No, I
actually
didn't say you're
genuinely-
confused, Jake.
you're
Listen, I said
genuinely retarded.
He's
Jen-
I didn't.
pissed.
Good job trying to get your live
listen,
gone
listen,
so that
He's
you don't have to
pissed.
continue the
Why don't
conversation.
you?
Good job.
Why don't you listen for a second? Okay.
I mean, you're trying to
Listen.
end this
You're not-
live.
You're not actually.
You're saying words
listening.
to end it.
You're not actually listening to the point. You're saying that, because it results in a contradiction or a false belief, therefore it's not relevant to the discussion of the LPT. No, of course it's relevant to the discussion of the LPT, because some people do not see the entailment of that belief, that it leads to a contradiction, and that's the whole point of what is being shown in the outset. It's saying that if you believe this, that the Father is God, and you interpret it as such, then this is the entailment. I know they hate when I use the R word. I'm sorry. The entailment of that, okay, it's being restricted. The entailment of that is X, and we explain what that is.
Okay.
So that the person then
Let's
is going to
clarify
have
something.
good reason. The person is going to have good reason to actually doubt the belief that got them to that position. That's the whole point.
Okay, so the goal is to get them to doubt the original statements, right?
No,
Is that what you said?
it's for them to doubt their original interpretation.
Why
of
he
the
why is he
statement and why it
always
can't
so
be
close
true.
to the camera, bro?
Oh, so the point is that you're only talking about people who formalize the Trinity a certain way. You're not trying to prove the Trinity is illogical, correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is, in that specific case, the one that we've been talking about this entire time, what is being demonstrated there, or attempted to be demonstrated, is that the person's belief is false because what they're believing in the first case entails another belief which they reject, which is that the Father is identical to the Son,
Wait.
which is contradictory, and therefore
Let's get some
they
clarification.
they have to hold on a second. They have to reinterpret the statement to begin with.
Okay, let's I'm going to stick on what you're saying. Let's clarify what you're saying, please. So are you saying that their belief is false? Are you saying a specific model is false? Or are you saying it's false that the Father is God?
No, it's false that the Father is identical to God in the sense that it satisfies Leibniz's law.
Oh.
Okay, so you're only talking about a specific model. You're not making claim to whether... Let me finish, please. Let me finish. You can't keep interrupting me. You can't keep interrupting me and try to understand me. Look, you got to try to understand what I'm asking you here. Are you saying that, one, this proves the Trinity is illogical, or two, this just disproves a specific model, or three, that the informal statements themselves are false? Which one are you saying?
Why would I say that this alone proves that the Trinity is false or illogical if we're only speaking about one specific?
So then he's not trying to prove the Trinity illogical.
Of Trinitarian statements. That makes no sense. The question is retarded, bro.
Okay, I know you're spamming the word trying to get this live down so you don't have to continue talking, but
He
please
is
stop.
on
No,
key.
I would love to continue belting you, man. I like it. Trust me.
Okay, so you're saying that it doesn't...
He does keep
so you
saying
said,
retarded,
one,
like
it
even though
doesn't
he knows
disprove the
TikTok doesn't like it,
Trinity,
to try to
and
get that
two,
bit
it doesn't
banned.
prove the Trinity is illogical, correct?
in the specific nature in which we're discussing. We're not talking about the
You're not
Trinity
answering my
in-
question.
we're-
Answer my question.
I am. You're just a slow boy.
Yes or no?
Listen, slow boy. Listen.
Yes or no? I
Listen,
haven't
slow
insulted
boy.
you. You don't have to spaz out. It's okay.
Listen, slow boy. Yes, you have insulted me numerous times.
No, I
saw
haven't.
what
They
you
were
were
just
saying.
descriptions.
I saw what you were saying on your previous live stream about me, dude. You think I don't know?
That's
what
not
you
an
were saying?
insult. That's not. Those aren't
Yeah,
insults.
it was an insult. It was. You were insulting me several times. You're calling me a grifter. You're talking about.
That's not
how
an
much
insult.
money-
That's a fact.
No, it's not. What's a fact is you have long hair, and Paul said that you're a female.
Yeah, they banging each
Why do you
other.
have long hair when Paul? told
Okay,
you not
nice
to?
job switching the subject. All right, let's go
Why
back
do
to
you
subject.
have long hair?
Why
when
he
Paul
gets
told
so
you
close
not
to the camera?
Why do you speak on things you don't know about, like models?
Answer the
Anyways, let's go
question.
back.
Why,
let's go back.
Why do you
Let's
have
go back.
Why do you have long hair when Paul
Okay,
said having long hair
he
is a
conceded.
female
He
trait?
conceded. Can we go back to the original topic?
Can you answer the question?
I want to go back to the original topic.
Why do you have long hair when Paul said that having long hair is a female trait? It's from the female nature. Why do you have that?
Look, are you gonna? Do you want
It's
to
a
continue
female
the
trait
topic?
to love too. Does that mean I
answer the
can't love?
question?
Oh,
You
you're
haven't been able to
you're
answer a
genuinely
single
an
question
embarrassment.
yet, dude.
You're an
You
embarrassment.
haven't been able to answer a single
Hey, lower
question
the
yet.
Jake. I'm broke. Lower the price from $500 minimum to $50. That's all I have right now, please.
Dude,
okay?
I'll give it to you for free if you sit there like a good fireball. But here's the
Pause.
question. I want
My
to know.
request though is that
since
you
Yo, he
that
said
you
he
get
gonna
rid
give
of the
it to him for
$500
free.
minimum.
Yo.
Since no, it's not a $500 minimum.
Yo.
Since you claim to follow Paul, why don't you follow his teaching? And why do you have
Bro,
long
can we
hair?
get back to the topic? Can we get back to
Answer the
Yo.
question. Why do you have long hair, bro?
Oh my god. How
He talking about
convenient
his
you wanna
long
run
hair,
away
saying,
from
"Oh,
it.
you got long hair. I'm gonna give it to you for free."
It's a simple question.
Yo.
Do you want to continue the topic or no?
Why do you have long hair when Paul says that's for females, bro? We all want to know.
I'm broke. What is? Okay, can we get back to seriously? Can we get back to the topic? This is not interesting.
Yeah, once you answer that question, it's a genuine
He's running
question.
so
It's
hard.
not a genuine question. You're just a
Yeah, it
grifter
is.
who's mad because I'm calling out. You're grifting.
It's a genuine question.
Wait,
And
here's
I'm
a
trying to
genuine
get you to-
question. Why
I'm
does
trying to
your
see if you-
why does the
I'm
only
trying to see if you
options?
really believe. I'm trying to see if you really believe.
Why
in
is the
Bible.
only
It's a
options
simple
in your
question.
course $500, $1,000, $1,500? Why are those the only
They're
options?
not. They're not. Those aren't the only options.
Put my screen big so I can screen share.
Dude, those are not the only options. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't. Put my
No,
screen
you
big.
don't.
Put my screen
You
big.
don't. Do you know that we lowered the total for the course?
Put my screen big.
You know that we lowered the total for the course?
Put my screen big. Oh, how much
Do
did
you
it go
know
down
that
to?
we lowered the
300 now?
total for the course? So
300?
just like when you're supposed to be talking about me and the LPT and what I say, and you grift to talking about grifting, that's what I'm going to do here on this live when you're sitting there with your long hair when Paul said you're like a female. So why don't you answer the question?
Why
do you
don't
have
instead
long
of
hair?
instead of
Why
grifting
do
your
you have
base,
long
why don't you
hair?
actually provide
Why do
something
you have
meaningful?
long
This is
hair
crazy.
If Paul said having long hair
How do I
is for
share my
females?
screen? How do I do that?
Answer the question, son.
You're not being serious right now.
I am dead serious. Just
No, you're
like
not.
you're trying to be dead serious about grifting.
I
Look,
mean, that's
dude,
serious.
look, don't be jealous just because you're in an apartment by yourself and you can't actually afford good Wi-Fi and I'm out here getting money. Don't be jealous of that.
Yo, he said I'm
What
out
you
here
need to
getting
do-
I'd
money
be
by
jealous about you
grifting.
What you
grifting.
need to
That
do
makes
is,
sense.
what you need to do is, if you want to build up your name, build it. But don't try to do it off me because it's not going to work. Because you're just going to get up here and you're going to get blasted. It's
Okay,
simple.
guys,
So
read
answer
that.
the
What's the
question.
You
minimum
guys
he
can't
offers
see it
here,
right
guys?
now. You guys can't see,
Answer
but
the
he's showing the
question,
course
sir.
where Jake
Answer
is
the
making him pay
question.
$500
What's the
for a
minimum
course.
of his
Answer the
Dawa
question.
Accelerator course?
Answer the question. Why?
Dawa
Why do
Accelerator
you have
course.
long hair? Why do you have long hair if Paul says not to?
Hey,
Answer the
can you
question.
enlarge?
You can't
Look at
answer it,
$500 minimum. Hey guys, look at
Why
this.
can't you answer the question, bro?
Why can't you look at the screen? Why don't you enlarge it? The minimum's $500.
Dang,
You
he's
can't answer,
frying his
huh? Are you
And why-
ashamed?
And instead of
Are you
offering the people,
ashamed? Are you
instead of
ashamed? Are
you should be ashamed of
ashamed?
yourself for
Are you
grifting
ashamed,
Muslims.
bro? Are you ashamed that you can't, that you have long hair and Paul says you're like a female?
$500 minimum.
Are you ashamed of that, sir?
As you just said, I'm in an
Are
apartment. You need to
ashamed of
lower
that?
it.
Paul
You
says
need to
Yo,
you're like
this
lower
has
it.
been a
female,
crazy
bro.
day.
Paul says you're like a female. That's pretty bad, bro. Says
500.
judge for yourself. Judge for yourselves.
And
Is
how
it
many
proper for a woman-
Moroccan? How
is
much
it
does
proper-
that?
is
How
it
much
proper
does that
for a woman-
currency
is
in
it-
Moroccan
is it proper
pesos?
for a woman? Is it proper for a woman to pray to God with her head uncovered? Does not the very nature of things teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a disgrace to him? So that's a question for you, Johannes.
Man,
Does not the
that
very
boy
nature of
is
things
he
teach
is.
you that if a man
What's
has
the word
long
when
hair,
cherry
it is a
pick? Cherry
disgrace to
picking
him?
Paul.
All right, this is getting like not
Wow,
interesting.
bro. Wow. So Paul says you're a disgrace. Paul says
Jake.
you're a disgrace.
Jake, why instead of offering your course
Okay.
for free,
So
why do
now-
you set
so
up
now-
GoFundMes
okay, so now-
so that
so
other
now-
Muslims
so now-
can
so
pitch
now-
in money
so now-
because
so
you don't
now-
want to give your
so
course
now
out for
listen-
Why does he
minimums,
keep getting
for
so
lower
close to the
minimums?
camera? I'm getting uncomfortable.
Listen, son.
Set up your
Listen, son.
GoFundMes. Keep setting up your GoFundMes.
Listen, son, we're going to go back to the point now. We're going to go back to the point. Since you got embarrassed about your long hair, we'll let you get back
Oh,
to the
yeah.
LPT. We'll
I'm
let you
so
get back to
embarrassed.
the LPT. So now, the question for you, Mr.
gonna try my phone.
Silencio,
Hold up.
is, are we concerned, is all the LPT concerned with more mere formal consistency? Is that all we're concerned with?
Well, as you read in your paper, you reference rich. I don't know. Let's read it together. Let me pull up the paper.
No, I asked you a question, bro. I asked you
No,
a
yeah, I
simple-
want to
simple
go off
question.
of what you said.
It's a yes or no. You answer yes or no, and then you expand.
Let me pull this up.
The question is yes or no, and then you expand. Do you know how to answer a question? Is the LPT?
Stop talking for a
and
second.
Is the LPT?
Stop talking for a second.
Is the LPT?
Wait, stop
only
talking for a second.
concerned-
Stop
is
talking
the
for a second.
LPT? Is the LPT only concerned with formal consistency or not?
This is the only way you can engage because you're just
It's
embarrassing
a simple
yourself
yes
earlier.
or no question. See, now
You gotta
had an
stop
excuse
talking
when
so
was
I can answer the
You had
question.
an excuse when I was making fun of your long hair, but now I'm
Just stop
asking you a
talking
direct
so
question.
I can answer.
I'm
Stop
asking
talking.
you a direct question about the LPT.
It's
Is
okay.
the LPT
It's okay.
only concerned with
I'm gonna
formal
answer.
consistency?
I'm gonna answer.
Yes or
Stop
no?
talking.
Say-
Stop talking.
say yes
Stop
or no.
talking so I can
Say
answer
yes
it.
or no.
Pause so I can answer it. Okay. Look
Say
at.
yes or no.
Okay. Stop. Let me stop talking so I can
No,
answer.
you're not going to
Accord-
answer how you want.
Can
You're
I
going to answer yes or no. You're going to answer yes or no and then
Stop
expand.
talking so I can answer
You're
it.
going to answer yes or no and then expand.
Stop
That's how it
talking
works.
so I can answer it.
Yes or
Stop
no
talking.
and then expand.
Stop talking so I can answer it. I'm gonna say this. It's number one, it's a loaded question, which is why I want to elaborate on it.
Question is yes or no.
If it's loaded, why would I answer yes or no?
So you can answer yes or no.
How did you
Because
derive that?
you
He
just
doesn't know what a
admitted
loaded
on your
question
own
is, man.
live
Jake
that
doesn't.
Of course the LPT isn't only limited to formal consistency.
It's not.
You just it's not. Exactly.
It's not.
So
Stop
Jake,
talking
hold
for
on.
a second.
Let me
Stop
train
talking
you
for a
here.
second. You're
Holy,
so
you don't start
irritating.
I'm gonna
yapping.
ask
Your
you one
drifting
question.
base.
I'm gonna ask you
Look
one
at
question.
in your
I'm gonna
paper,
ask
you say
one
the
question.
LPT forms an inconsistent
Listen, I'm
set.
going to ask
Inconsistent
you one
sets are model
question.
theoretic.
Listen,
Inconsistent
Juju,
sets are model
Juju,
theoretic.
I'm gonna make your day. I'm gonna make your day.
Inconsistent sets
Juju,
are model
I'm-
theoretic.
Juju,
You
I'm
write.
gonna
You write this.
Juju,
The claim is that these 7
Juju,
propositions
Juju,
are
let me help
necessary
you,
for
sir.
Trinitarians to
Juju, let
affirm
me
and
help you. I'm
form
going to make your
an
day. I'm gonna
inconsistent
make your
set.
day. Watch.
Why
the
is
whole
he so
discussion is gonna
close?
end right here.
that the LPT you're
uncomfortable,
talking about
chat.
is forming an inconsistent set. Inconsistent
Juju.
sets are model theoretic.
Juju,
You're
Juju.
referring to a formal issue in your paper.
Okay.
That's why we're referring
You're
to the
breaking up,
LPT.
Juju. You gotta
And
go
you
back
told
outside, bro.
Nick.
You're breaking up. You gotta
you
go back
told Nick,
outside, dude.
look at listen.
Nick
Stop
mentioned.
speaking so you can hear
You're
me.
breaking
Stop speaking
up.
so you can
You
hear
gotta
me.
go back outside. We can't hear you. dude.
It'll be much easier to hear me if you stop speaking over me.
W
You
Nick
keep
mentioned.
talking.
It'll be much
I'm asking you. I'm trying to ask you.
It'll
one
be easier to
question
hear
that
me
will
if you
end the
stop
entire
talking
discussion.
over me.
I'm trying to ask you one
Just
question.
stop speaking
that will-
over me. Jake, you've been speaking
Dude,
this
you've been
entire
speaking
time.
for
Let
the
me get
past
something
5
out. Let me get
minutes. You've been speaking for the
let
past
me
5 minutes.
No, I haven't. Let me get something out. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Let me get something out and then you can go. Just give me a minute and then you can go and then we got a minute like rational people.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
do
give
that.
you-
Okay?
Here, listen, we're gonna
Please.
give you. Wait, we're gonna give you 1 minute uninterrupted, and then I'm gonna ask you a simple question, and you're gonna answer, right?
Yes, I'll answer
Okay,
it after
good.
that.
Go ahead. 1 minute uninterrupted. Go ahead. Let me get
Yeah,
my
why do
timer.
all the
Okay.
Muslims mention me? Orthodox Muslim mention me. He mentioned me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to respect the time. I'm not gonna go over it.
Go ahead, bro. We're gonna give you extra
All right,
time.
okay.
The reason to say that something can be only used in one sense is ridiculous. Words have multiple meanings, phrases have multiple meanings. What's relevant is what the literature is
Chat, am I famous?
predominantly speaking about when we reference the LPT. When you reference the LPT in your paper, you credit its original analytic formalization to Richard Cartwright, who's speaking of a formal issue. You then say, this is what you are speaking about, because then you start talking about the is of predication, is of identity, and you start talking about forming inconsistent sets, which is a formal issue. You then continue on to speak about the formal issue, and then you then later import metaphysics. But you, one, accredited the original problem to Richard Cartwright, so it's not irrational for us to deal with it in purely formal terms before talking about other issues regarding LPT, which
He's
broadly
not
speaks
understanding
about
a single thing he's
incarnation
saying,
and
by the
other
way.
issues. You in your debate against Nick said this has nothing to do with the LPT. You said that. You're wrong. When I talk about
Bro
this,
really
I'm
got a
talking about
timer.
something
He's
that's
so weird.
predominantly in the literature.
Time's
Go ahead.
up. Time's up over Blau. Time's up over Blau.
Bro, you's not
Listen,
Eminem.
I'm going to reset 1 minute so people
You's
can
not
see it on my
Eminem.
end. But it's not going to take 1 minute. It's just a simple question.
Do you want me to elaborate on it or no?
No, bro. You had your time. You get 1 minute uninterrupted.
Yeah, but
Okay?
that wasn't about answering your question specifically. It's about the loadedness of the question.
Okay. So if I ask you a different question, you'll get another minute. That's how it goes.
I know, but what I'm saying is that I'll answer yes and I'll elaborate on it.
Okay. I don't care how you answer it because now we're doing timed. You got 1 minute. So
Okay.
I'm going to start my 1 minute. Now, everybody can see it starting here. Now, Mr. Silencio, did you just say that my paper initially started out talking about a formal matter and then went into metaphysics? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So was my paper, which was on the LPT, was it limited to formal consistency or did it also
No.
talk about metaphysics?
It's also talked about metaphysics.
Okay, good. Now, here's the second question because I still got time left. I still got 30
Go ahead. You
seconds.
can take all the time you want. Give yourself another
Good.
minute.
No, I only need one more question and then the whole thing is done, dude. The whole question is done.
Go ahead.
Have I ever said that the Trinity cannot be formulated in such a manner to be formally consistent?
Have I ever said? Yeah, when you claim the Trinity is illogical in your paper.
Okay, so when I claim that the Trinity is illogical, I mean in the sense that it. Hold on a second. I want to be clear
He
about
didn't
what
even
you're
know
saying. The question is for
Okay.
you. When
Go ahead.
you think when I say that the Trinity is illogical, I mean that it cannot be put into a formally consistent set.
I think you don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing
No,
coherent
just
coming
answer.
out of you.
I'm
Okay, so the
dead,
answer
bro.
is
Dude,
no, I don't
dude
believe that.
funny as hell.
I don't know if I would say no. I would say that you're confused about what you're saying and that the way that these terms are normally used after you talk about inconsistent set and you use the terms like illogical, you're in the domain of logic, and illogical means there is not one model that can satisfy the set of statements. Now, you may be confused and you're talking about other stuff while you're talking about that, but that doesn't mean that you're making the division in the sense where you're talking about distinct subjects. That just means you're confusing the domains.
Are you done? Because you still got time
Yeah,
left.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. So I'm going to restart it now. You said that I'm confused because in the beginning of the paper, I'm talking about purely logical consistency and formal consistency. But you admit that in the rest of the paper, I go through speaking about the metaphysics. Why do I speak about the metaphysics in that paper?
As I just said, it's because you're confused on the difference between illogicality in its formal sense and illogicality in a broader sense. It's because you're
Okay.
confused.
He doesn't even know what illogical
it's
is.
confused. It can't be the case that when Jake says illogical in one context, he has one meaning, and then when he means it in another context, he means something else, and he's not confusing those. He's just using the same word in two different senses in two different domains. That's not possible, sir?
I just answered that. I said it's not the case that you're talking about distinct domains representing distinct issues. It's the case that you're mixing the term illogical.
So what do you think I mean when I say illogical?
I think you're
When I
confused.
say-
I already
when
already
say
answered that
when
question.
when I say, hold on. When I say that
I'll
the
answer your
Trinity,
question after you finish. Go ahead.
when I say that the Trinity is illogical, okay.
We don't
what do
know
you
what
think
the
I
hell you
by that?
mean.
I think you are confused. I already answered this because to understand the difference between illogical in the metaphysical sense or in a broader sense of incoherence and in the formal sense, you have to understand what a model is. But you didn't know what a model is in Nick's debate. So of course you don't understand the difference.
Real.
You didn't answer the question.
I did.
No.
My answer was that you're confused. There's no coherent meaning in mind, and we have reason. We have good reason to believe that you're just confused about how you're using these terms.
Okay, so I'm just confused about it. Okay, have I ever publicly stated that the Trinity could be formally consistent in a set if it's interpreted a certain way?
In my debate, yeah.
You actually said in the Nick debate that it could be made consistent.
Yeah,
but what you
yeah,
clarified
we locked
upon
in.
that
We locked
is you
in.
said it could be consistent. You also made a Twitter post where you said there's equivocation models.
He admitted
there's
it in our
issues
debate.
with relative identity. So it's not that there's a model
our debate,
in the
he
sense
admitted
that
it's
we're
logical.
talking about the domain of logic, inference, axioms that you accept, which is what I'm talking about. Right? We're not talking about non-classical logic. We're not talking about relative identity that you don't accept. We're talking about when me and you have the same logical assumptions, right? Same axioms, same well-formed formulas we accept in our logical language. We're saying, is there at least one model that can represent the set of statements? When you say consistent, as you tweeted on X, you said, yes, there's models, but they have issues. You're saying that the logical language, you're saying you don't accept this in your logical language, relative identity, or you're saying it equivocates, which means there's an issue with the model. You're not saying there is a model that can be made consistent.
No, not at all. Do you know what I mean when I say equivocates?
I have your tweet. I could put it on my
No, just
screen.
answer the question because you need to bring it up because you don't understand. You're being educated. Answer the question. When I say equivocate,
Okay,
what do I mean?
I answered your question.
No, because you're going to read
You
my
explain-
tweet now, bro.
No, I'm not
Can't
going to
hear
read your
you.
tweet. I'm not going to read your tweet.
Can't hear
not-
you. So when I say that equivocation, that there are equivocation models which are
I'm not going to
formally
read your tweet, I
consistent,
said.
when I say that there are equivocation models which are formally consistent, what do I mean by that?
As you said in the Nick debate, it was the same thing. You said the Trinity can be made logically consistent in the same way, in the same consistency that J.C. Bell's contradictory Christ is consistent.
No,
That's what you said.
No,
You said that word
That
for
is
word.
literally what he said in our debate, by the way.
I mentioned J.C. Beale, but he's just one example. He's not the only example.
So he did mention it. Like, what?
Hold on a second.
Under Nick's
Hold
view,
on.
let me explain something to you, please.
Silencio.
Let's do.
You know
Okay,
what-
take your
you know
minute.
what-
Do the
you
minute.
know what-
Do the minute.
Okay. Silencio. Do you know what silencio means?
I speak Spanish. Silencio means silence. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Cállate la boca. That's what it means. Now, the point is,
Bro, what
Mr.
are we
Silencio,
doing?
Did you put the
Okay.
minute?
Are we trying to aura farm languages
I
now?
have it on, but I'm not even going to
Okay.
take the full minute.
Okay.
So, the point is, Mr. Silencio, when I make the comment about J.C. Beale, that's one example that I said off the cuff as a remark in the debate with Nick. In my Twitter post, I did not limit it to J.C. Beale. I gave several different examples that are formally consistent. Now, I'm asking you the question. When I gave those...
Well, let me respond to that first, and then I'll answer your question.
You're cutting me off. My minute's not up yet. I still got
I
28
apologize.
seconds. Still have 28 seconds. I'm
Go
landing
ahead,
the
go
plane. I'm asking you the question.
There's
When
no
I
way this is
said
real, bro.
that in the Twitter post that there are several different examples of Trinitarian models that are formally consistent. What do I mean
This
by
can't
that
be
in
real.
the Twitter post?
Okay. Now, I'm going to answer your question. I want to respond to what you said about J.C. Bell because it adds context to your question. So, J.C. Bell, it's not an example because it wouldn't be rendered consistent under Nick's framework because Nick is a classical logician.
Amen.
J.C. Bell's definition of
I am.
consistency doesn't exclude contradiction. Normally, in classical logic, contradiction is taken to be the same thing as saying there's some falsum, right? But under Nick's interpretation,
or under Nick's logic, classical logic, it's not this consistent in the same way J.C. Bell's is. In the
Amen.
same way, when you refer to your X post and you say relative identity can be made consistent, you're saying under a logic which accepts relative identity as a part of its language, namely the sortal indexed identity operator, can then be made formally consistent. So the can there isn't the scope of logical possibility indexed to Nick or yours or my logical systems. So we're not talking about any of our logical systems. All you're saying there is that there is a logical system out there that can accommodate that. But then that's when you say it's ad hoc.
Time's up. Time's up, Silencio. Listen, so now we're getting slowly closer and closer to when you're going to admit the truth. And I'm so happy about this. We're just slowly getting there. So,
Oh, dear Lord.
Jake is saying, we have an admission that Jake is publicly saying that the Trinity can be formally consistent, whether on J.C. Beale's logical framework, which is non-classical, on a relative identity framework, which you're saying is not
So the
classical.
Trinity can be formally
Now, we're
consistent
getting that admission.
in classical
But
logic.
now I want you to come over just
Amen.
a little bit closer.
Pause.
Does Jake in his Twitter post have any models of the Trinity that I admit that are formally consistent and that use or are limited to classical logic and not non-classical logics? Yes or no?
That's the concession of the whole debate.
You didn't answer the question, sir.
Yes, you concede that the Trinity
yes or
is
no?
logical. You concede
Okay,
that the
wait.
Trinity is logical, yes. But you
want your
also...
minute, Silencio?
Huh?
You want your minute?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So you concede that the Trinity is logical, which means that under classical logic, a logic that you accept, the Trinity is logical, formally speaking, meaning there's no logical issue with the Trinity. Now,
Yeah.
when you equivocate upon that logical, you equivocate it in its broad sense, meaning that there is a set of logical systems which can accommodate for that. And then you bring in the ad hoc objection whenever someone rejects your interpretation, your, I don't know if it's a model, a formalization that derives from falsum.
You done?
Yep.
Okay, good. So, Jake, let's be very clear. Jake is not only admitting that J.C. Beale's sense of consistency, or whatever you want to say, or relative identity, those models are not formally contradictory and are consistent. Jake is also saying that you can
Why is he talking
have
in
a
third
model
person?
of the Trinity that is formally consistent and adheres to classical logic, correct?
Amen.
And it's adequate, yeah.
You're adding something. Hold
So
on.
he just
Silencio,
conceded.
Meaning it
come on.
preserves. I'm
You're
answering your
adding-
question.
you're-
Let me
you're
answer your
adding-
question.
You're
Let me answer
adding
your question.
something else, Silencio.
Let me answer your-
adequate.
Let me answer your question, please. Let me answer your question. In the same way that a contradiction assumes that the meaning is preserved, if you're saying it can be made formally consistent in a model, I take that to be you to be talking about the Trinitarian statements, which means the truth conditions are preserved in the model.
What determines the truth conditions?
Why is that relevant?
That's
determines
talking
the truth
about
conditions?
metaphysics. That is
You'll see
irrelevant.
why if you answer the question.
It's not relevant.
That has to do with the metaphysics of it.
What
It's
determines the truth? What determines
It's
the truth
it's
conditions?
irrelevant. The point is that
It is
What
actually
determines
irrelevant.
the truth conditions,
Look,
sir?
let me answer.
No, if
In
you
this-
answer the hold
let
on.
me answer. Stop
Silencio.
talking.
If you
Stop talking. Let me answer.
Listen, if you
Just
answer
stop
the question,
talking. Let me answer
if
the
you answer
question.
let me ask you the question. If
You already
answer the
asked it. Let me answer.
Listen, bro, I'm letting you speak up here. Okay, I'm giving you 1 minute uninterrupted to speak.
Then do that
Let me-
again.
Yeah, I will. Let me just finish the point. If you answer the question and then show me why it's not relevant, then you'll be victorious. So go ahead.
Okay. In the same way that when we say a contradiction, it has to preserve the same meaning. It has to preserve what we're talking about, right? It has to have the truth conditions, and then there has to be a negation behind what we're talking about. So it has to preserve the statements. Now, if someone asks, well, why does it have to preserve the statements? Or what makes it such that the meaning is the same? That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the question of the contradiction does have to preserve the meaning in its negation, because it has to be negating the same thing, the same meaning. In the same way, You don't
Yep.
have to answer that. You can have a theory of meaning, a theory of truth, an epistemic framework that helps you derive the truth, and you can define all of those things. You can have a whole system, but just like this is irrelevant, it parallels your tendency to go into irrelevant stuff. Like when Nick was trying to propose a model to you, you could have said, actually, this is a model. The Trinity is logical, but you didn't say that. You said that it's consistent in the same way J.C. Bell's is, which is false. Go ahead.
So you talk for a full minute and you didn't answer the question.
He literally
All
answered.
Well, it's because the
did-
question's irrelevant.
No,
I'm not answering
yeah, all
irrelevant
you did-
questions.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly. You don't
Exactly,
understand.
it's irrelevant. I'm glad
you
you
don't
agree.
understand. You don't understand why it's relevant, because it matters what actually are the truth preserving conditions. Who determines that? And the reason why you cannot.
You didn't even know what a model was
Hold
until
on,
like
dude.
an hour ago.
Listen, see, this is what happens. Every time I start talking, you interrupt me.
You just went on like an ape fest talking about my hair, and now you want to act like a civilized person who wants to have a conversation? You need to calm down.
Ape fest is crazy.
Because, dude, you're the one who got disrespectful on your little stream first. First of
I'm
all,
not disrespectful. I'm pointing out the truth.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah, you
disrespectful.
are.
Oh God,
Yeah, you
not
are
this again,
disrespectful.
please.
You were disrespectful to Venus, and you booted him off.
I'm not disrespectful to Venus. Venus lied. We have it on recording, and it's posted.
You were disrespectful to Venus. You called him a liar. You
That's
removed him
not
from
disrespect. That's the
removed him
truth. He
from the
lied.
stream. You removed him from a stream, and then you went on a tirade about how Jake is a grifter. But yet you're the one who's got long hair, and Paul says you're like,
Bruh, not this
so let me
again,
finish
bro.
my point, sir. Let's get back to the actual debate and stop cutting me off. The minute is starting now.
Go ahead.
Now, I'm asking you because earlier you just said it's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant that Jake is asking this irrelevant question. No, I'm not asking a relevant question, because that's going to deal with whether or not the model, which you keep mentioning, the model is.
You don't know what that
accurate.
is,
Bro. You can't control yourself, bro. It's like
if you're gonna go on
like
rants, you might as well be on topic.
Okay, so Silencio, when you talk for a minute and I don't think you're addressing my question, and I sit there quiet on my own live, you're not going to do the same thing. So what do you want to do?
First of all, after
What-
you just
what do you
after
want to-
after you
what
just
would you
aped
like
out
to
talking about my
accomplish
hair,
here?
you want to talk like a normal human being. That's funny.
No,
But if
we're
you're-
talking about you interrupting.
If you're going off topic drastically, then I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay, so then I can interrupt you when you do that, right?
Yes, of course. If it's actually off topic
I'm
and
gonna-
you can address that.
And I'm
Look,
I'm
how
going
about
to
this?
determine when
How
it's
about
off topic or not.
Okay, let's act like civilized people now since you decided that. So, look, you've been interrogating me this entire time. I haven't been asking you any questions. After you ask this
No,
question,
you're
after you
missing the
ask
whole point.
after you ask this question, I'm going to ask you a question that's very relevant to this subject.
No, what's going to happen here?
Bro,
is
this
you're going
TikTok
to
chat
see
on the
very
side
clearly-
is
No,
like
I'm going to sit on my
so
live and
degenerate.
interrogate you. You came
It's
into
not
my
about
live.
interrogating, bro. You're missing the point.
You
I'm
came
trying
into
to
my
show
live.
you. I'm trying to show you.
You can't look at
I'm
Jake.
trying
Give me
to
my minute
show
really quick.
you- I'm
Give
trying
me
to
my
show you
give me my
something.
minute really quick. Okay.
I'm trying to show you
Jake,
something.
Jake,
It
you
was
came into my
minute. You
live and you
interrupted me.
refused to come up.
Silencio.
You refused to come up. You sat in
Silencio,
my
you
live for
interrupted
15
my
minutes.
minute. Silencio, you
You sat
interrupted
in my live
minute.
for 15 minutes and you refused to
Silencio.
come up.
Silencio, you interrupted my minute.
You sat
my
in my
minute.
live for 15 minutes and refused to come up.
No, it was much longer than that. So,
Thank you.
and-
Thank you
and
for
the
admitting
reason
that.
Why,
Bro,
and the reason
that's so
why
weird.
Is because somebody already went on your stage and you threw him off and treated him
I
like
caught him
garbage.
lying. I caught him
Okay,
lying.
you said you caught him lying, but you didn't.
We have a recording of it.
We don't care, bro. We don't
Oh, we
care.
don't care about
We
whether
don't-
he
we
was
don't
actually
care.
lying
we
or
don't
not.
care about your recording.
We don't
have it
care about
recorded.
whether you have a
We have
recording
it
of him
recorded
actually
too.
lying.
Look, can we get to the actual LPT? Can we
In
deal
your
with
paper,
the actual LPT?
in your
No,
paper, in your paper.
Silencio, you're
Look at
making this
stop.
much
You're
longer
such a
than it
coward.
needs to
Like
be.
you only
You're
want this
you're
interrogation
making
session.
You're
I have
making
to be
it
able to
much
ask you
longer than it
questions.
needs to be. So give
Look
me
at-
my minute. because you interrupted me during
Look,
my.
I'm trying to get us to agree. I'm
going
not
to make it
disregarding.
very
W
clear.
Matthew
you
for
stop
joining the
talking?
Patreon.
Stop
W
talking.
Mass.
Look at
No, it's my
W
minute,
Matthew.
dumbass.
Yo, you're
It's
almost
my
50
minute.
years old. Stop acting like a
It's-
child.
He's
I'm not
bacon.
50. I'm not 50 years
You're
old.
almost 50. You're almost 50. You're
I'm not
pushing
even close
50.
to 50.
You're pushing
How
it.
old are you? How
You're
old are
pushing
you?
it.
How old are you?
You're pushing it. I'm in my
How
early
old are you?
20s. Early 20s.
Tell me how
You're-
old are you?
I'm in my early 20s. You're pushing
How old
50.
are you? You won't
You're
even say
pushing
your
50.
age. You're not man
You're
enough.
pushing 50.
I'm not
You're
even
pushing
close
50.
to 50. I'm not close to 50, but I
I
might
guess
be
that is
old enough to be
relative,
your
right?
dad. I don't
Depends
know.
where you're counting from.
How old are you?
What's
Mr.
your counting
Silencio?
method?
You listen. You just asked. Well, I would have to ask you because you don't know how to count to 3 gods. So listen, Silencio.
Okay,
What-
I'm not.
what is-
Look
what-
it.
what is
This
your
has been an
age?
hour,
What
hour and
is
a
your
half of an
age?
of a just
Also,
like
by the way,
you just brought
W
me
Benjamin
up
for
on my-
donating
This has been an
25
hour
to
and
the
a half
gift
of,
butter.
like,
God
an
bless.
What your
interrogation.
age
Bro,
is.
can you
W
act like a
man.
civilized human being? Let's act like
What's your
civil
age?
people.
What's your age?
Yo, this
Look,
is
let's
so
talk-
weird.
let's
He
act like
asking it.
civil
This is so
human beings.
weird.
Okay, so you
Instead
brought
of
my age
instead,
up.
bro,
So
can
tell
you
me
stop
what your
talking?
age is.
Put your lips together.
Juju
Stop
just
talking
made
for
a
a
little
What
second.
joke
is
and
your
now
age,
pause. And when
Silencio?
Juju said put his
Oh my
lips
god,
together,
that's kind of weird. You're
pause.
almost 50 and you're asking for my age. I'm in my
I'm not
early
even
20s.
close to 50, dude.
Pause.
Yes, you are.
Hold on,
Anyways,
Juju.
Not even
Pause.
What age am I?
almost 50.
What's
Look
the
at.
age?
Anyways,
Go ahead. What's the age?
anyways,
What's the age?
bro, you're a weirdo.
Was Jesus
almo-
almost 50 when he died? Was Jesus almost 50 when he died, according to you?
What's the counting method for that?
You
No, I'm
tell
just
me,
joking.
dude. You're the one who can't count.
I'm just
to 30.
joking.
Yeah.
Anyways, can we
Was
look at? Can we
Jesus
not
almost
have?
50 when he died?
Bro, can you stop talking seriously? Just stop talking for a
Was
second.
Jesus almost
This man
50 when
Juju
he
makes
died?
one joke and Jake's
Stop
like, what's the
talking
argument
for
for
a
that?
second.
Answer the question,
Stop
long hair
talking for
boy.
a second. Stop talking
Answer
for a
the
second.
question, long hair boy.
Okay,
Long hair
grifter.
boy.
What-
What
was he-
the frick?
Listen,
$500 minimum, by the way.
Silencio, cállate la boca.
I won't be able to
What
get a
language
haircut
are we
if I buy
speaking
your
now?
$500 minimum
Be
course.
quiet, bro. Bro, you don't need to get a haircut.
Why
need
is
to
he
keep
so
that
close
long
to the
hair, man.
camera?
Oh my god.
That's what you
Anyways,
need.
let's talk like civilized people for once.
Okay, so you're not gonna
Anyways,
cut me off,
look
then.
at
It's
instead
my
of having
minute.
the interrogation
It's my
session,
minute. It's my minute. It's my
instead of
minute.
you just constantly asking questions,
I'm
I would
not.
like
I'm
to
making
ask.
statements during my
Stop
minute.
talking for a
I'm
second.
making statements. It's my
Instead
turn,
of you just
bro.
constantly asking me
It's my
questions,
turn. It's my
stop
turn.
talking for.
It's my
Bro,
turn.
look it. Stop talking for a second.
It's my turn,
Stop
bro.
talking.
It's my
Instead
turn,
of-
little bro.
Stop talking. Look it.
It's
Instead
my
of you
turn.
constant. Wow, you're so embarrassing. Instead of
No,
talking,
you're
you-
embarrassing.
instead of talking
No,
constantly
you.
and asking me questions, I want to have the opportunity to at least ask you 1 or 2 questions because I didn't agree to just an interrogation session. I've been answering all your questions for an
Really
hour
good.
and a half now, and we haven't gotten
No,
to a
you've not.
single. We haven't gotten to a single point where I can ask you a question about
We
the
have.
matter.
We've gotten to the fundamental point, and that's why you don't want me to go further. Because once I get to
It's-
this final step, everyone's gonna see how much of a fraud you
You
really
don't
are.
know what a model is. We can never
Listen,
get to the
dude,
final step.
It's my minute. You're gonna be
You didn't
quiet.
even know what the
You're
identity
gonna be
operator
quiet
was.
now. You're gonna be quiet. It's my minute, and then you get to talk for a minute.
It's my
That's how it
party.
Okay,
goes.
listen.
and I
Listen to
do
what I'm
what I
telling you.
want
I'm
to.
not. Look
No,
at. Listen to
I
what I'm
got
telling
1
you.
minute.
Listen
I got
to what.
1 minute.
Can you not act like a child? Genuinely.
No, it's my
Look at-
turn. It's my turn to talk.
It's your turn of an hour and 30 minutes of just straight asking me
I was
questions.
talking the last time and you
Ugh.
interrupted me.
Are you listening to what I'm saying? We're on a train of thought where you've been asking me questions
This is
about
crazy,
my
man.
position.
We're just about at
And
the
what I'm
horizon.
telling you
We're just
is
about
that
the
I don't
horizon.
want to continue an
bro
interrogation.
doing the
I'm
Superman?
okay.
You don't wanna
I'm
continue
okay.
'cause
Look
it's
at let me
hard on you.
answer. I'm
It's
okay
hard
with
on you.
answering your question right now. My point is that after this, I don't want to continue. I want to be able to ask my own questions instead of getting interrogated. I don't think that's irrational or crazy of me to ask of you.
Okay, now it's my minute to talk. I'm gonna make a statement here. I'm not even.
Do
gonna
you
ask
agree
a
to
question.
that? Do you agree to that?
I'm not even gonna ask a question. I'm gonna make statements. Now be quiet.
Do you agree to that?
Bro, you just talked. Now it's my turn to talk.
I
Be
know, but I
quiet.
don't want you to use your
Be
minute to
quiet.
continue the same line of thought. I want you to
I
address
know
my
you
question.
don't. I know you don't, because it's embarrassing you. Just shut
No,
up.
it's because we've been talking for 2 hours almost. We've been talking for almost 2
Why
hours.
he look like that?
And it's been you interrogating me. I want to be able to ask some questions.
Why bro look like an autistic Harry Potter when he did
You're
that?
almost 50, by the way.
No, I'm not almost 50, bro.
Almost 50, and you're selling $500 courses
Bro,
minimum.
you keep talking about my age, You're an anonymous dude with the last name Silencio online, calls himself Juju, and won't even state his age.
Someone said
And you
Nick
got
chill.
long
Hey, my
hair,
bad, bro.
and
No
you're like a
disrespect to
female
autistic people.
compared to what Paul says. Paul thinks
Okay,
you're a female.
I'd rather have long
quiet.
hair than be a grifter who doesn't
stop,
know what a model
stop,
is
stop
and doesn't know what
talking,
identity
The
bro.
guy
is.
spamming numbers
Stop
31 has
talking.
issues? Nah,
You
for
keep
real.
talking
There's this dude in the
'cause you
chat
don't
keeps
want me
spamming
to
numbers
talk 'cause
31.
you know
No,
where
it's
this is
because you
going.
want to say what you have
No,
to say and
because-
you don't want me to
because you know
respond,
where
just like
this
you
is
wanted to say
going. You know
derogatory
where
stuff
this
right
is
now.
going. You know where this is going. Be quiet.
Well, it's
I'm gonna
going to
give
your
you-
$500
I'm gonna
minimum
give you
Dawa
one last
accelerator
chance.
course.
I'm gonna give you one last chance to be quiet and allow me to speak for 1 minute, or else I'm removing.
Look,
you
I'm
from
going
the
to give
stream.
you one last chance to respond to my question, and if you don't, that's a concession.
Okay, so you got 1 minute. I got 1 minute to talk. If you don't allow
Answer
me
my
to
question,
talk,
yeah.
If you
Go
don't
ahead.
allow me to talk for the 1 minute, then you're getting removed from the stream. If you interrupt me during the 1 minute, you're getting.
I'm going to
removed from-
interrupt you if you're not answering my question.
Okay, if you interrupt me, you're getting removed from the stream.
I'm sure you would love to do that.
So Mr. Silencio, who cannot silence himself, maybe that's why his parents named him that. I don't know, so that they can remind him that he should be quiet when he's in the student teacher session. Now, the point is regarding the LPT, this idiot doesn't know that Jake Brancatella, in his own paper, in his Twitter post, and my own track record for what I've been saying for 7+ years publicly, is that of course you can have the Trinity be formally consistent.
Amen.
I've always
Amen.
said that. That's not the point. The point is that the initial LPT is being set up as a problem of forming an inconsistent set. And then based upon how you respond to that, it inevitably winds up in metaphysical problems, or more broadly speaking, logical problems in the informal sense of having metaphysical issues. That's always been my claim. So when Silencio, Nick, and company think that they're establishing something new, they're not establishing anything new. They're just coping. They think that they are. Now go ahead and respond to that, genius.
All right. I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that. But in your paper, I guess it's better to just directly reference your paper. In your paper, you immediately go from the same method of interpretation. Here you're talking about interpretation function because you're talking about inconsistent set. And then you talk about formalizing using predication versus is of identity. You then automatically switch into metaphysics without further qualification. And this goes forth to provide evidence against what I'm saying against you, which is that you constantly equivocate between the two because you don't know what a model is. In your paper, you don't define the distinction between the LPT as a formal issue and as a metaphysical issue. You just suddenly switch into using the notion of illogical in the metaphysical sense and then equivocate it with a set theoretic sense. Go ahead.
Show me where I say that the Trinity is illogical in a metaphysical sense in the paper.
Did you listen to what I said?
Go ahead. Waiting.
No, did you listen to what I said?
Yeah, you just said that I call it illogical in a metaphysical sense. Go ahead.
Okay. The claim is that these 7 propositions are necessary for Trinitarians to form an inconsistent set. Inconsistent set in logic, if you didn't know, right, that's what it means for something to be illogical. In the next line, without further qualification, all the way down, you say, on this interpretation, the first 3 propositions result in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, each individually and equally being divine or God. Propositions 4 to 6 merely reject modalism, affirming the distinction of each divine person in the Trinity. The final proposition is a claim of monotheism.
That boy talking fast as frick.
And then you mentioned Bo Branson, as you always do. As Bo Branson knows, the result of the first 6 propositions is that there are 3 gods because of how we count today. Today we count F's. That's metaphysical notion. You're talking about a counting method. And then you're saying it's illogical because of the way we count in the metaphysical sense, namely by F's. If there's 3 G's and each G is a P, then there's 3 P's. Or if there's 3 P's and each P is a G, then there's 3 G's. You're welcome.
Your time is up.
Bro said you're welcome.
So you keep saying that I'm mentioning Bo Branson. Bo Branson did his PhD thesis on the logical problem of the Trinity. It's literally called The Logical Problem of the Trinity. Then
And he doesn't agree with you, by the way.
I want to just pull it up here because I don't want to misquote the name of the article.
Hey,
Okay.
mamacita.
So he has a paper, which I think it's listed here in 2019, called "No New Solutions to the Logical Problem of the Trinity." Have you?
Hey, chat, real fast. How do y'all like me? I need to know. How do y'all like me doing these kind of streams? Obviously, like I love my debates. I'll be doing those 24/7. But just curious, how do y'all like me like reviewing and watching lives? Is this something y'all want to see? Let me know. Like want to see more of? Just curious.
Equivocate. You're moving from where you equivocating to trying to run to Bo Branson like you always do. Engage with what I said.
Branson's paper is called "No New Solutions to the Logical Problem of the Trinity." Have you
Good,
read
y'all
the
like it?
paper,
Okay,
sir?
good. That's good to hear.
I mentioned
I gotta
Bo
cater to y'all, man. I
because
want to
you
only
asked
give
me
content
where
you
in
guys want
your
to see. So
paper- give me my chance to respond. I mentioned Bo.
Have you read it or not?
I mentioned Bo Branson because in your paper you asked me to point out where you equivocate. Now deal with it. Do you equivocate or not? Stop trying to run to one of Bo Branson's papers.
Have you read the paper, sir?
Are you going to engage? I'm not answering irrelevant questions.
by the way, I know Juju has read the
I
paper because we
answered-
talked about
Are you
it.
scared to admit you haven't read the paper? What's the big deal?
I answered. Look at this line of questioning started like this. You asked me where in your paper do you say that it's metaphysically illogical. I pointed it out by
the way, chat, the chat is not looking very green. Nobody has sent gifted memberships this live. Someone gonna have to step up because the chat is not as green as it should be.
asked me to do. After I provided that to you, you then now want to move into one of Bo Branson's papers that has nothing to do with what you initially asked me. Do you see that line of thought there?
It does, actually. So have you read the paper?
No. Do you see that line of thought? It's irrelevant.
Have you read the paper, sir?
Do you see how it's irrelevant?
Have you read the paper, sir?
Do you see how it's irrelevant?
This is crazy.
Okay, I'm just going to accept that you haven't read the paper. Now you're going to be quiet and give me my
Do you
minute.
see how it's irrelevant?
W
Be
Chico
quiet
with the
and give me my minute,
memberships.
'cause you still
Go
haven't
Did
to
you
answered the question.
equivocate, yes or no?
You still haven't answered the question.
I answered. You asked me where in your paper did you say metaphysically it's illogical. I provided it to you. Now you want to talk about Bo
Someone
Branson?
says, sorry, I can't afford to buy memberships.
Listen,
That's
dude,
okay.
I
As long
asked
as you're
you a
watching, that's
question
enough for me.
About in the paper, you made a claim about
Just
in the
grift
paper
like Andrew
that I
Wilson
used
always
the
works.
Word illogical.
I don't like grifting. Oh, that's why I don't ask for super chats. I ask for gifted memberships so at least the other people in the chat can get something out of it.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I said where it
Someone
starts,
says
where you
Saint
mentioned
Branson
Bo
again.
Branson. You then mention being the counting method, there being 3 P's or 3 G's. Each being a P means there's 3 P's. There are 3 P's, each being a G means there's 3 G's. That's to mention the section. You asked me, I provided the section, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Is the counting method
W
relevant
Adam for to get the
to
memberships.
the formal structure of the LPT that Branson uses?
Okay. Wow, it's like I'm talking to
I
a
don't
child.
like grifting,
You
says the
asked
grifter.
me,
How do I grift
where in your
squares, Beth?
paper did you equivocate?
Exactly,
Did
you
you use
didn't give me an
illogical? You asked me where in your paper did you use the term illogical to refer to metaphysics? I provided it to you. You're now want to talk about Bo Branson. Stop jumping.
Okay, good.
Deal with that.
Let's
You don't
help
know
you.
what illogical means, and I proved it to you. That's
I
it.
do,
That's the end of
dude.
it.
Silencio, cállate la boca.
Deal with
are-
it.
Why he
Deal
keeps
with it.
speaking
Idiot,
Spanish?
bro. You want to have this debate in Spanish? Maybe it'll be easier. for
Yo,
you.
what
I
the
don't know.
frick?
You're losing people to buy your course right now. I know you're upset about it.
No, I'm not.
It's okay.
Bro. No, I'm not, bro.
Maybe
I'm
you're
not
gonna have to
living-
lower the price
I'm
to
not-
$50.
Unlike you, I'm not living in an apartment paid for by my mother. I'm not.
Yeah, you're
you,
living
bro.
in Morocco by your grifted fans.
No, I'm not. I'm actually living here with my own business, unlike you.
Yeah, the
But you're too
business of
stupid-
grifting.
You're too stupid
His
to keep up
business
with
is
this.
It's
literally-
because
yeah,
your
what the heck?
GoFundMe gets $5,000 from people you
Silencio,
grift.
Why do people want to follow me and donate to me and not you? It's because you're an idiot.
It's because you're
So,
a grifter who
it's
charges
because-
$500.
it's
I don't
because-
charge anything
It's
for my
because
papers.
you don't. Yeah, because they're not worth anything. They're not even
Because
worth,
it's my
they're not
first
even-
paper
they're
I
not
put
even-
out.
They're not even worth toilet paper, dude. You can't even properly distinguish between than and then. You're an idiot. Than and then, dude.
Oh my God.
How much time
You can't
did
distinguish
spend-
between
how much time did
illogical
you
and
how much
metaphysically
time did you
incoherent.
spend proofreading your paper when you don't know the difference between THAN and THEN?
Proofreading your paper.
How much time did you
Cuz,
spend?
I can smell
dude? You don't know the
breath from
difference
here.
between then and then.
You don't know the difference
You're an
between
idiot.
metaphysically impossible
idiot.
and logically impossible.
You don't.
You don't know the difference.
Because in the discussion of the logical problem of the Trinity, Branson discusses counting methods. Do you know that?
Yeah, that's because in his paper, if you read his dissertation, he distinguishes LPT from MPT. Do you know what the MPT stands for?
Oh, okay, so let's look at what Branson's paper actually says.
Oh my
Look at,
God.
of course. You don't even know what you're
Let's look
talking
what he actually says. Let's look what he actually says. He's going over the LPT in his paper, which is literally
Address
called,
what I said about your
I
paper.
am addressing it. This is my
No,
1
address
minute.
what I
Now,
said about
this
your
is my 1 minute.
equivocation.
This is my 1 minute. Be quiet.
Address what I said about your equivocation.
I am addressing
No,
it.
you're
I'm
not. You're jumping
educating
about
you.
Branson's paper, which you
Listen,
don't even understand.
Silencio, be
This
You don't
is
even know how to
crazy.
read a
Silencio, I'm
formalization,
educating
as
you.
you demonstrated on Nick.
I'm educating you, Silencio. Be quiet.
How can you educate someone when you don't know how to read
quiet,
basic
dude.
formalizations?
Dude, you don't even know how to read basic English. You don't know the difference between then and then. You're an idiot.
That's a good one.
Exactly. All you can do is
You don't know
laugh
how to
because you
read
it's
basic
true.
formalizations.
Bruh, so
How
that's
can
a
we
You know
good
the
one.
difference between then and then? Or should
Do
I
you know the
speak in
difference
Spanish
between
for you?
logically impossible and
Should I
metaphysically
speak in
impossible?
Spanish for you?
Do you know the
Should I-
difference between metaphysically
can
impossible
I-
and logically impossible?
You want me to speak in Spanish for you? Is that better?
You only speak English.
You really? That's
Yeah.
what you think? Okay.
Speak some Arabic for us.
So I just did earlier, but you weren't listening.
Yeah,
So
you're
be
gonna
quiet
recite the
now.
Quran
It's
or
my
something.
1 minute. It's my 1 minute. Be quiet.
I
So,
want you to stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Yo, Jake
quiet,
probably can't even
Silencio.
Stay
speak
on
Arabic
topic.
like for
Be
like
quiet,
fluently,
stay
so
on
he can't even
topic.
read the
Be
Quran.
quiet. You're the
Stay on
only one
topic.
interrupting. You're the only one.
I'm gonna
interrupting.
interrupt you if you move topics.
Remember
Don't
what
shift
you said
topics.
on your live that you said if I came up, you
Don't
weren't going to interrupt
shift
me even once.
topics.
You weren't going
Don't
to
shift
interrupt me
topics.
even
Yeah,
once.
and you didn't
Jake
come
is
up.
so
You were
easily
gonna-
distracted,
come
I
up.
swear.
Do you know what a
You were
conditional
going
is?
to remove-
You know what
you
a
were going to
conditional is?
remove-
That's
you were
another
going to
thing in
remove
logic.
Your TikTok. You were going to remove your
That's
TikTok.
another.
Bro,
You're
that
gonna
guy is
remove
still
your
spamming
TikTok.
number
If you
31 in
come
the
up,
chat. He's
right?
so
Not
weird.
if I come up. Do you know what a conditional is?
This is the last time.
Do you know what a
I have
conditional
1
is?
minute. If you interrupt me, I'm removing you from the live.
Do you
says
know
this every
what
time.
a conditional is?
So I'm gonna tell
Do
you.
you know what a
about-
conditional
I'm
is?
gonna tell you about this. And if you remove me, if you keep talking,
I won't remove you. I don't have the
I'm
power
gonna-
to do
I'm
that.
gonna remove you. I'm gonna remove
Stay
you.
on
He's
topic.
bacon, bruh.
Okay. So I'm gonna
Stay on
ask you a
topic.
simple. I'm gonna ask you a simple question.
Stay on topic.
I'm gonna ask you a simple
You asked me
question.
where in your paper did you say metaphysically
Exactly,
illogical?
you
I
failed
showed.
miserably.
I
You
showed
failed
you.
miserably.
It's that simple. You got to
failed-
respond to that.
You failed miserably. So I'm going to ask you the question. When
Nothing about Bo
when
Branson.
when
Nothing about
Branson-
Bo Branson.
No, because it's going to expose how stupid you are.
No, it's because you're
Oh
so
my
dumb. You
gosh.
can't even track
Because
your
your
line of
criticism
Oh
questioning.
my
of me-
gosh.
your
That hat
criticism
is
of
too
me-
tight on your fucking head.
criticism
You're so
of me-
dumb.
your
even
Bro,
know
why
you're
is he
asking.
backing him like
would
this?
apply to Branson.
Follow your
That's how
own.
dumb you are.
Follow your own line of
Okay.
reasoning.
That's enough, dude. You're out of here.
Yeah, you're a
outta
clown.
Here, bro.
You're a
an
clown.
idiot.
You're a
an
grifter.
idiot, Silencio. You're an idiot. Little boy who has long hair when Paul tells him.
Why he's so focused on his hair, bro? Bro, what the heck? That was so crazy, dude.
Silencio and Co. How
Bro, what the frick, dude? That's so crazy. There's something really wrong with these people, man. There's no way. There's no way, bro. Anybody who disagrees, feel free to come up in the request. Let me read these super chats. JJ with a $5 super chat. Nick finna Dawa hunting. Anyways, here's my jizya. W jizya. You can't. The weird thing is you can't join TikTok lives off PC. Only off your phone, as far as I know. Rise Elijah. Elijah's not here. If Elijah comes back, I'll rise him. Shiev says Christos Anesti. Death is conquered. Alitos Anesti. Amen. Loki Chico said, we need more of this. God bless you, bro. For sure, man. Will do, bro. Will do. And then with the 5 Fearless Shoot, get the memberships. W, man. Also, Adam with the 5 Fearless Shoot, get the memberships. W Men's. W Men's. And Amari with a $2 super chat. Stop eating your pen. Wait until after service. I know it's haram. Haram. I got to quit. I got to quit. It's haram. Dear Lord, man. Being so focused on how someone does their hair is, yeah, crazy. I just messaged Liza. She'll be up soon. Do I have to admit I'm addicted to Shia music to my priest during confession? You're addicted to Shia music, bro? What? I mean, yeah, I guess confess that to your priest, because I don't know whether you should or shouldn't. So if there's a question on whether or not you should or shouldn't, you probably just should, and he'll tell you if it's not a sin. Yo, addicted to Shia music is crazy. Yo, what is Shia music? Hold on, let me look this up. What is Shia music? Hold on, guys. There, Nick, I'm greened out. W. I mean, addictions are bad. This is true. Depends on the addiction. Okay. Shia music. Hold on. This is Shia music? Yo, this is what they be listening to, bro. Yo, this is real too. It's not even like. Yo, hey, yeah, if you addicted to that gang, yeah, bro, you probably go tell your priest, G. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, wait. Yo, they jamming. Yo, wait, look at the crowd. The crowd's jamming to this. Nah, there's no way, bro. Nah, there's no way, bro. They said that's a Shia rave. They have Shia raves, I guess, like rave parties. Hey, man. Ya Ali. Oh, Lord have mercy. Someone said stop running from Elijah. He's not here. My guy's not here, man. Whew, them Shias is something else, man. Shias and the Sunnis, they're different, man. They're different breeds. Oh my goodness gracious, bro. Whoever asked that question, confess immediately. Please do. Please do, man. It's getting wicked, guys. It's getting wicked out here. It's getting wicked. Hit the like button, amen. Thought a bug flew into my ear. It does kind of sound like that, huh? It does. That does lucky sound like a bug flew in your ear. Oh my gosh. Someone said that was tough. No lie. Tough. That's crazy. Branson is Jake's role model. It seems like it, bro. Every time this man cannot have no type of debate without saying, but Jake. I mean, but Jay said this and but O said that. That ain't it. VA, what? VA, tell me what kind you're addicted to, bro. I need to hear this. VA, what kind of Shia music are you addicted to? And I'll look it up. I need to hear this. What kind are you addicted to? Let me hear. He said that wasn't it. Elijah's coming? Oh, bet. Jake got so excited to talk to Branson. Bullet Time Tooth Fairy. I don't know what that is. I'm waiting. I want to hear what he's addicted to, bro. Prophet Branson, yeah, Prophet Branson, peace be upon him, to Jake. He is literally the last and final prophet of him. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake was later on in My Strange Addiction. Bro, imagine. Joel 1 of 3, what change, huh? I don't know what bro talking about. He keep on listening to verse and says what changed. Oh, Lord have mercy. Find the video of Sufis dancing in the mosque. In the mosque? People can go in there and dance? Wait. Sorry, I'm not on my other account. I know. My other account has YouTube Premium, I promise.
In your mind.
What the frick? This is inside? Wait. Oh, I was thinking of Kaaba. I said they're louder than mosque. I'm dumb. I was thinking of Kaaba. Oh, that is brain rot. That is brain rot. Get that off of my screen. That is brain rot. Oh Lord. Lord have mercy. Yo, VA still hasn't told us yet what he's addicted to. I need to know. I think he's embarrassed now. He don't want to tell us. How can anyone be Muslim? Tis a good question. Tis a good question. Tis a great question, actually. W Jam in the shower. Real. Where'd they get that sound from? Pentecostal Muslims, bruh. Hey, guest requests are open if y'all disagree, man. Make sure to hop up in the request. Or if y'all have questions, I guess I could take a couple up for questions. Not gonna lie, they got some dope dance moves sometimes. Yeah, you're the only one that thinks that, brother. You might actually be the only person in history that's not a Muslim to think that. You posted a link? Where? You can't post links on YouTube if you're not mod. So you have to just tell me like what the title is or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't even see a link anyways. I don't even see one. You didn't watch enough vids, Nick. Stop hating on the real Muslim shuffle. I'm a D1 hater when it comes down to it, man. The music sounds literally just like whining into a mic. I know, it's pretty bad. It's tough out here, bro. It's tough out here. Chat. Wait. Oh, never mind. I was gonna do something. When I start streaming live with PC, should I go OBS or StreamYard? It depends if you want more customized ability. OBS, if not StreamYard. Crying for Ali, yeah. Feels pretty slow today. Well, the only reason today's been quote unquote slow is because my OBS crashed, and then I found out these dudes were debating. I was like, I want to watch that. Got to get that membership counter up. I know, right? Maybe wait. What time do I gotta leave? I gotta leave it like. Wait. What time do I? Because I'm going out to dinner beforehand. I need to see what time it is. I forget. Oh, it's not till 9:30. Low key. Maybe I'll start. Hold on. Maybe I'll start the TikTok. Hold on. Maybe I'll start the TikTok back up. We can do some debates. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that. And we'll do some debates before I get off. How about that, chat? How about that? If someone sends more gifted memberships, I'll do it. I'm kidding. I'll do it either way. All right. I'm going to use the bathroom real fast. But while I use the bathroom real fast, y'all are going to listen to Christos and Esty, the most beautiful Eastern Orthodox song that we play tonight. Go to the Orthodox Church tonight for the Pascha service. You'll hear it in person, IRL. You know what I'm saying? Muslims gonna think we're worshiping a chair? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, all right. We can get the TikTok live started up. Even though nobody sent gifted memberships, this is crazy. Y'all really don't rock with the chat like that, man. Y'all really do not rock with the chat like that, man. That's crazy. All right. Okay. Let's go. Wait. Oh, there. I couldn't find a go live button for a minute. I was like, bro, what the frick? All right. We're back live on TikTok now. Let's see if we can get some guests in here, man. I was last night going back for the Christos and SDW. Can Christians come up? Not anymore. I gave that chance, but now I gotta do the debates now. W Kamari for joining as a member though. W man. You didn't wash your. I don't know why people keep saying I didn't wash my hands. Y'all have no clue. Them boys on my bathroom's literally right next to my room, bro. You're gonna sing it? No. Well, I'll sing it tonight in church. Should I scratch Elijah? I mean, yeah, I was waiting on him, but he's not here anymore. So yeah, I guess yeah, I probably scratched that. You went live and guessing, huh? I don't know what you mean by that. Sound more loud on TikTok? Hopefully it's cool. Can you refute the Gospels being anonymous? Yes, I can actually make a Patreon video about that. If I'm reminded. W Ray with a 5 feelers who get the memberships. W Mans, God bless you, bro. Appreciate you, G. Chat gonna start turning green now, finally. W. www. Now I'm hoping Johannes was debating with Jake the Muslim. I know. I was reviewing it. We were watching it on my YouTube. Yo, Nick, as a Catholic, I want to wish you a happy Easter, brother. Happy Easter, bro. God bless, man. Appreciate you. Do we need to pay $500 to access that video? Yeah, guys. Sorry. If you guys want to access my Patreon, it's $500 a month minimum. So sorry. So sorry, guys. So sorry. You were live this whole time on YouTube, yeah? On YouTube, yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are live on TikTok now. Guest requests are open if you disagree, if you are a Muslim and disagree. All right. Let's take up the first guest. Hello?
How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, what's up, man? What you got?
Do you remember?
Do I remember what?
Okay, it's okay. Anyway, look, I am fishing. Do you like to go fishing?
Nah, I'm creeped out, bro. You gotta go. Bro creeped me out. He creeped me out. He said, do you remember me? And then he showed the camera of him fishing and said, do you like to go fishing? That was really weird. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
What's up with the background? Got you a little better, more clear. I can see better.
Oh,
Is that your background, sir?
Yeah.
No way. Anyways, so would you agree that if Islam expresses more validity to things which are false, then we should express more commitment to Islam? Like, for example,
If it
if X is
expresses
false,
more validity towards things that are false? You mean true?
like for example. No. Like, for example, if something's false and Islam gives more valid reasons for why these things were going to be false, then we should look towards or expect Islam as being more epistemically parsimonious.
No, that's not true at all. Because I can give more reasons why. I can give more reasons, brother. I can give more reasons why neoclassical theism is false. That doesn't mean you should look to me more than a religion.
No, I would disagree with that because presumably you'll be holding to like epistemic parsimony. Or sorry, you don't hold to epistemic parsimony. So what's the argument against it?
Again, I don't think that there's any good reason to believe that just because and when you say
Wait, what's
showing
the
thing,
argument for phenomenal to what happened?
what's the argument for what?
Phenomenal conservatism, or if that's how you pronounce it.
When did
So,
I
like,
say I held the phenomenal conservatism just now?
by evoking that I don't see any good reason, or there's not going to be no
Is that the only
defeaters.
type of epistemology that uses that?
No, that's the only main epistemology that uses that.
Oh, so it's not the only epistemology uses that.
It's the main epistemology.
I didn't
which
ask was the
is-
main. I said is the only epistemology uses that.
Yeah, it's the main
I
epistemology.
didn't ask if it's the main. I asked, is it the only one?
No, but it's the main.
Okay, so it's irrelevant. So again, my question
not
is, I'm just
irrelevant.
asking when you say, for example, it's against the validity of false claims, right? It's giving more validity towards that these false claims are false. What false claims? Are there any false claims?
Claims that don't have any formal consistency. Like, for example, it's like not formally consistent.
I'm
right?
saying, are you talking
And-
about any false claim? Can that be anything?
Yeah, and like if that belief gives more epistemic reasons for why these things are false, then we should expect the view which is giving more, reasons for why a thing is false.
So
We
is it
should
going to be on a
expect
basis
more
of
validity.
quantity?
Quantity? Can
Yes.
you like give the reduction?
When you
on
say
that?
more, are you talking about quantity?
Yeah, that's like begging the question. I said, can you give the reduction? then? 'Cause
What?
I
That's
take a different.
begging the question? What do you think
Yeah,
begging the
so
question is?
Wait. So when I asked you,
Wait,
can you
what do you
give
think?
the
What do you
semantical-
think begging the question is?
Yeah, so begging the question is when you're trying to use the premise of the thing to support something or to try to derive a conclusion. So
How did I
when
derive
ask you
a
what's gonna be
conclusion
the
if I
phen-
asked you a question?
Wait. What's the
Bruh, nah,
question?
you an idiot, bro. Get it. Oh my gosh, he's dumb. Oh my gosh, he's genuinely dumb. Bro, I presuppose the conclusion when I literally just asked the question, bro. This man is slower than molasses. Oh my gosh, he's slower than molasses, bro. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I simply just asked, when you use the word more, are you talking about quantity or? Oh, you're begging the question. You're begging the question. He's LARPing as a philosopher. Well, he did a bad job. I would hope he at least would be smarter if he's LARPing, but he's not even like smart. It's bad. Co-productions with Twitter Super Chat. Here you go, Nick. Buy yourself a new PC. I know you're poor. Thanks for the $2. I'll definitely do that for that for sure. Crazy, man. That's the point of LARPing? No, it's not. You can be smart and still LARP. What are you talking about, bruh? You can be smart and still LARP. That's crazy. People don't know like basic things at all. Why do people just abuse terms for no reason on here? It's a grand question. That is a grand. Just try to sound smart, probably more likely. Nick, are you full time yet? Yes, I am. As long as I continue to get the support from you guys, then yeah, I'll continue to be able to. Yes. The tablets in heaven associate with Allah. That is shirt. Interesting. He had a PhD in TikTok philosophy. So real. So real. With $2, Nick can get himself a Windows 95 for real. I can get myself some RAM from the Windows 95. Some of that DDR1, baby. Oh, Lord have mercy. No, what? What? Appreciate the gift, Peace. And thank you, Ivy, as well. I think Peace gave me a gift. I'm pretty sure. Said she joined and I got a gift, so I'd assume she did. I said DDR1, not DDR. What's wrong with y'all, bro? What is wrong with y'all? Hello?
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Yeah, do you know what the nativity argument is? The census?
The nativity argument? I don't know what you're referring to.
The census. You should be acquainted with it. It's famous.
Are you talking about the historicity of it, that it's wrong that the census wasn't actually this dated year?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your historical? Is your historical evidence based merely on Josephus, where the census was?
No.
Okay, great. So can you show me other historical sources with that census?
Dio.
What?
Cassius. Dio.
What are you saying?
Dio. 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 Cassius Dio. He's a 2nd century senator.
Okay, I'm asking, can you give me the source? That's what I asked.
Oh, okay. Roman historians, book 55, chapter 27.
Okay, Roman historians. What book?
Roman history. Let me get a few. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, Roman history. Book.
Okay.
Book 55. Book 55. And then chapter 27.
Okay,
The
book
first
55,
University of
chapter
Chicago
what?
should be enough. 27.
All right.
The Chicago University. That one should be good enough. I haven't checked it in months, anyways.
All right. I'm at chapter 27. All right. Where does he give the year at in chapter 27?
He doesn't give AD, 6 AD, if that's what you're asking.
What was the question I just asked you to show me?
Yeah, do you have any other external historians that attest to Josephus dating? Or at least his line of
That says that they
events.
have the same date as him, right?
Yeah, no, they give the same line of events. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so where does it give the date here?
He's a Roman. He doesn't care about. He doesn't use AD. You do understand
I
that?
don't care if he
doesn't
uses
use
AD
60.
or not. Where does he give the year in which it existed, or how many years after a
Okay.
certain event it existed?
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you. Let me quote you specifically. Give me a second.
While we wait, what's good, chat? How's everyone doing, man?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. We found it. All right.
Nah, sorry, you just put me on the spot. I haven't read it in months. So I'm just trying to give you the specific quote.
All right, cool. So where's it at?
Nah, yeah, this is a headache.
Where's it at? You said
Look,
you found it.
Look. While I'm looking for the quote, I'll just tell
Wait, you
you
said you
what
found
I'm
it.
going
I'm
to.
confused. Did you not find it?
No, I did find it.
Okay, so where's it at?
I'm using a new website. I didn't use this website last time.
Okay, that's fine. Just give me. What website are we on?
I'm presupposing using the first website, the University of
Okay,
Chicago.
what website are you using right now?
I used a different one.
Which
I haven't
one?
checked yeah, I don't remember which one it was. It was months ago.
Bro, take care, bro. Take care, bro. Bro, what are we talking about? Bro, he said he found it. I asked where he found it. He can't tell you where he found it, bro. Okay. Yeah, Shake GBT, 100%, bro, is using ChatGPT. 100%, bro, is using ChatGPT. That's obvious. I guess back to the drawing board for him, you know? Back to the drawing board, man. Crazy work. Is this really Elijah? Elijah, hello?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, it is. Okay, good. What's up, man? How did
Bro,
you
what's
enjoy
the
your
deal?
debate with Orthodox Muslim?
Bro, that was aggravating, bro. He's so slow, bro. Like,
I mean, I think he pretty much just conceded that you know, Christianity was true because he
bro,
conceded there
yeah,
needed to be
he
an
said,
infinite sacrifice.
yeah, he said Christianity is true. He said, bro, let me just grant it to you. Fine, bro. Christianity true. And then he gonna say, how that make the Old Testament true? What are we talking about, bro?
I was like literally, bro, if you watch, I was literally watching, like we were watching the debate on the stream. And if you watch, I literally said right before he said that, right after he said, I said, what does it have to do with the Old Testament? You said the same exact thing. I'm like, what the frick does it have to do with the Old Testament? And then also,
Exactly.
he was trying to make you answer, is God a person? Well, first of all, that's not even a univocal term. So it doesn't even it's irrelevant.
Exactly. Exactly. And but we spent like 10 minutes on that, asking me the same question 80
Bro.
million times. He got scared of the first argument that I was running because I was like, bro, we could just prove logically that God has to be multi-personal. He gonna say, oh, so if I come up with another religion that I make up myself where God is multi-personal, is that evidence for that religion?
Like, what?
Bro, yes. First of all, it is. I'm like, bro, if you prove that atheism is false, like you prove that God exists, that's evidence for whatever religion that believes in God. Like, regardless, just because if you prove that this thing exists, if you believe in that thing, then yeah, that's going to be more evidence for whatever you believe. So if you
Yeah.
believe in a multi-personal God and that's like logically necessary, then bro, I don't care what religion you come up with. You just saying, hey, bro, if I believe in everything that Christianity believe, that's evidence for me. Yeah, bro, that's evidence for you, bro.
It was kind of funny too
Like,
when you mentioned the virtual distinction. You asked him, "Do you even know what a virtual distinction is?" Bro would not answer that question, man.
he
Or
said,
virtual identity too. Like, well, you know what
yeah,
virtual
he said
identity is?
virtually identical. Bro, what? What are you talking about, bro?
Bro, I knew as soon as you asked that, I knew. I was telling everyone, I was like, he will not answer this. He does literally before you asked that question. If you go back in the stream too, I said he doesn't know what a virtual distinction is, and then you asked him, and I was like, yeah, he's not gonna answer, bro. He's not gonna answer. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know
But
there's a
bro just
major,
went up
there's a
there.
minor. He don't know all that stuff.
Yeah. But he just went up there and said, hey, bro, Christianity is true. That's what he said.
Bro, I mean,
So
listen, if there has to be an infinite sacrifice, amen. So where was the infinite sacrifice in Islam? Just curious.
exactly. It's just done. It's
Listen,
over
at
with,
the
bro.
very least, even if he want to say he doesn't prove Christianity true, he at least prove Islam false because he admitted there has to be
Yeah,
infinite sacrifice. So
exactly. It's done. It's over. And his prompt was there's no evidence for Christianity.
yeah,
So like all I need to do is increase the probability.
yeah.
So like that's stupid easy, bro. Like that's so easy.
All you
I
got,
ran
yeah.
two
If you could
arguments on it.
say any sort of historical basis raises the probability, and then if that's the case, then well, answers this question.
Yeah, but then he just gonna be like any type of historical, he'd be like, Allah just made it appear like that. That's what he gonna say.
That's so tough. That's so
Yeah,
tough. I
bro.
need to become a Muslim so I can use those anytime someone comes to get out. It's made it appear so, man. I'll give you.
Like,
Shit. You broke your leg? Allah just made it appear so, brother.
it appears so, man.
Your leg ain't really broke, G. It's all good. Oh, your girlfriend broke up with you? Allah just
You
made it
tough,
appear
right?
so. Hey, man.
Bro, I didn't know that y'all was watching.
Yeah, someone texted me. I just restarted the live, and someone had texted me and said Elijah's debating Orthodox Muslims. I was like, nah, I gotta watch this. So I turned it on and we live streamed this bit. We was in here laughing. We watched like a good bit of it too, like 45 minutes, something like that.
Oh my days. Yeah, I might go live later today. I might review it. I'm gonna see. I'm trying to make sure I get the video before he take it down. Because
If he does, you at least have my part of it. It has like 45 minutes of it or something. So
yeah, all right, for sure.
So yeah, so watch that.
All
All right, bro. God bless you, man.
God bless, bro.
That was the guy that was debating Orthodox Muslim earlier. Fridays. But what's new, you know? Speed with a super chat would donate 500, but you're not rich enough, broke boy. Let me get it straight. You're not donating 500 to me because I'm broke. How does that make sense? Shouldn't you be donating me 500 then? Inverto to the super chat. What does infinite mean? Oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about it with Elijah, bro. Oh my gosh, yes, Elijah, if you're still in here, bro. I couldn't believe this man. This man said, "What does infinite mean?" Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. It was on Elijah's live? Nah. It was on Orthodox Muslims live. Like, bro, that junk is so bad. That junk is so bad. Brother, VA, you can just tell me the title and I can type it in. He said, "What? God is infinitely valuable? What? What does that even mean?" Oh, what do you think? Is your God finitely valuable? Ugh, Lord of mercy. OTS in Arabic? Okay, I'll look it up. I'm not gonna play it right now because we're like low-key past that. It's been like 30 minutes, but yeah. Are you celebrating Easter tomorrow? I'm celebrating it tonight. Easter is tonight. It's not technically tomorrow, but tonight is when the liturgy is. So, Nick, first time going to liturgy, should I go tonight or tomorrow? Well, there's no liturgy tomorrow, so tonight. Churches don't have liturgy tomorrow. They're tonight at like 11 p.m. Can you talk about Enoch? What about Enoch? Allah is very finite. This is true. It's going to be so fire. I can't wait. You get it? Because we're also going to be holding fire. For real. Oh, it said we have a 9:31? It might just be like, it's possible y'all do. Most Orthodox churches don't have one the next morning. Maybe y'all's does, though. Maybe y'all's does. Check with your priest. But regardless, no, go to the one tonight. Go to the one tonight for sure. This tonight is the Easter service. Tonight is the Easter service, most beautiful service of the year. Do you think the Giants made the Egypt bricks? I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know what you mean by I don't know. You mean bricks, stones. Bro, gonna show up to an empty building. I swear he is. Yo, I did that once. One time I showed up to an empty building. I was so confused. It was like it was Sunday morning, and I showed up, and nobody was there. I was like, nah. I was like, church, what do you mean? I was like, it's 9:30. I was like, where the frick everybody at? And I realized they ended up having church somewhere else that day because it was surrounded by like this marathon, so nobody could get in. But I was like, yeah. Do you go to a Greek Orthodox church? Yeah. Why does EO do it a week later? Because we have a different calendar. We don't use the Gregorian calendar. Hello?
We wash our feet more than you wash your face.
Bro, y'all boys stink. National No Nick Day? For real, that would be crazy, huh? Probably. Hello?
Hey Nick.
What's up?
I'm not a Muslim, but I keep getting cooked by Muslims on this Injil argument.
Then probably
could you
stop
help me?
debating, bruh.
Well, I mean, but I it's kind of how I practice, I guess.
No,
you know what I mean?
no,
Like
you gonna bring more harm to Christianity than anything.
What do you mean?
Bro, what if people are watching you and they see you get cooked and they say, damn, the Muslims actually have better arguments. And they could become a Muslim. And now your blood's on their hands.
I guess.
Yeah, I promise you there's many more way to learn. Many more way to learn.
Well, you're right. And either way, could you like help me with this Injil thing?
Yeah, as long as you tell me you ain't gonna debate it. As long as you tell me you ain't gonna debate it.
Okay, I won't debate it, but can you help me with the answer at least?
Sure, what's the question?
Okay, pretty much I was like, because they believe in the Injil, but they believe that I guess the qualifier for the Injil is the Quran, right? Like we know what the Injil is because it's the part of the Gospels that aligns with the Quran, correct?
Okay.
That's like basically what they were saying. And then I'm like, okay, well then, like I guess, like how does that even make sense logically if you're gonna use a book so much like a different book, different guy, to qualify that, and there basically she was saying, you believe that as a Christian as well, that like another book can have, I guess, like divine properties in a sense.
What the frick? How
Ca-
do you have divine properties in a book?
not divine properties, but I guess like correct, like inspired writing or theology.
So what's the argument
If
you're
that
getting cooked on? I'm confused.
pretty much what she did is she basically
Oh, you got cooked
what I'm
by
saying is
a woman?
yeah. No, bro, she's tough. She's tough though.
He didn't just get cooked by a Muslim. He got cooked by a woman Muslim. Women aren't even allowed to go outside with their hair out. Let me get. Yeah, was it Itachi or Korra? Which one?
It was Cora.
Yeah, there's only 2 women on Muslim debaters on the side, bro. Yeah, that's I ain't gonna. I'll probably never show my face again. But all right. Yeah, what was now? Explain to me the argument now.
Dang, bro.
I'm being
Okay.
so serious.
Bro, I'm actually trying. I'm really trying to get into the apologetics thing. Like,
Please
actually,
don't, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It might not be for you, gang. It might not be for you.
okay.
Either that or you need to wait at least like 2 years before you start debating. I mean, now, like, with all due respect, like, you probably might want to wait a couple years. Like, some of it, like, you know, you gotta learn before you start doing that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. But either way, how would she basically what she said is that in a sense we believe the same thing as it pertains to like the book of Enoch, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, as Christians, we don't accept the whole of it as like inspired scripture, but we do believe that there is like inspired elements within. Do you kind of get
Talking about the
what I'm
Gospels?
saying in this? Well, like Jude makes a reference to it. Like our
Jude makes
scriptures
a reference to
refer
what?
to Enoch.
Oh, and so they're saying Enoch must be inspired because of that?
No, she's not saying that all of Enoch is inspired, but she's saying that if our scriptures quote Enoch, and it's actually in like a messianic context, like speaking of Jesus, the book of Jude alludes to that. And so then by that logic, it can be applied basically with the Quran verifying the Injil. Like one holy book can make a reference to another and it aligns.
I mean, I agree that one holy book can talk about another, but like, what's the argument about that though?
Bro,
it's not
okay,
necessarily wrong.
maybe I'm
like,
not doing a good job explaining.
One holy book can reference another holy book. Like that's.
But it's an acknowledgement that that other book has like basically something inspired in it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like,
I mean, yeah, but it can. Yeah. I mean, another book can. It doesn't necessarily just because another book references another book, though. It doesn't necessarily mean the other book's inspired. It can mean that. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
so I mean, so then what's the stance I should take as a believer, like
That
as it
referencing a
pertains
book,
to that Enoch reference?
yeah, that referencing a book doesn't mean that it's necessarily inspired. I'll give you an example. The Old Testament references a book such as the Book of Wars. It quotes from the Book of Wars. It talks about the Book of Wars. Now, does any Christian believe the Book of Wars is inspired? No, it doesn't even exist anymore. But they still quote from it because you have to understand the Bible is also a historical book. All the Bible is not prophecy. It's not God giving us commands. It's also history. It also talks about historical things. So the Bible can quote from other books in a historical manner. If the only way to necessitate that other book is inspired by God in this verse is if someone said, and the Lord said, quote unquote, this in this book or whatever, and then quotes it. But that's not what Jude says. That's not what any of them say. We don't think just because a book quotes another book that it's inspired.
Okay, but you don't think that it may, because it's also in even like some Orthodox canons, right? Like in
Enoch,
I guess like apocryphatic.
well, not Eastern Orthodox.
Apocrypha?
No. Not Eastern Orthodox. Not in like the actual Apocrypha, like the quote unquote Deuterocanon. Neither Catholics nor Orthodox have that. I think maybe Ethiopian Orthodox have that, but they're not even. I mean, they're kind of irrelevant. So.
Okay, cool. So I basically kind of just accept that as a claim to their argument.
You can accept that it can show that another book is inspired, but what you should not accept is that it necessitates that's an inspired.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was just pretty much my question.
All right, my man. God bless you, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hey, bro needs to join the Patreon, man. Hey, if you in here, bro, hey, join the Patreon. Link in bio, bro. I'll be teaching in there. I'll be teaching apologetics. Join the Patreon, man. You need it. Might give a month free or something, bro. You need it. Leno to the super chat, guys. Nick is broke, but don't call him it. He fight. Don't call me without sending me $100 first. This is Nick protege. Heck nah. I was Jordan's protege back in the day, man. Me and him used to be debating King of Ohio on my live. Hello?
What up? What up?
What's going on?
How you doing there?
I'm good, man. What's up? What do you got for me?
Nothing too much, man. Nothing too much.
So, why aren't you Christian? Give me a good reason not to be Christian.
A Christian.
Yes.
You need a good reason to not be Christian?
Yeah.
I'm a son of God, so.
Okay, are you a Christian?
I'm a son of God.
I know. I'm asking, are you a Christian? And by Christian, I mean follower of Christ.
Yeah, I follow God the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost.
So, are you a follower of Christ?
Yeah, but I'm a son of God.
Cool, bro. Glad you a son of God. Thanks for coming up. So irrelevant. What are we doing? Also, someone said saying Ethiopian Orthodox are irrelevant is disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. I'm saying they are because I believe the denomination's false. Just like if I say like Pentecostalism is irrelevant. Like, it's not disrespect. I'm just Nick, can you give me a good book for the Eucharist? Off the top of my head, I don't know. Probably read Chrysostom's commentaries on 1 Corinthians, specifically. Hello?
Hello, what's going on?
What's up, man? What you got?
The reason why I have a problem with the Christian faith is the Bible.
Okay.
I have problems with the authenticity of the Bible.
Okay, why do you have problems with authenticity of the Bible?
Reason being, it's a collection of 56 books, and a powerful God could have given us, a simple book, given us descriptions of what to do and what not to do. It would have been very clear. Whereas in the Bible, when you start, it's very hard to finish, and then we don't have the original scripts either.
You said because it's hard to finish?
What I mean by that is it's a big book, you know what I mean? It will take you. I mean, do you have anyone that memorized the whole Bible?
So you reject its authenticity, you question its authenticity because it's long?
One of the objections that I have, yes.
How does a book being long mean that it's
No,
you
the
should question
reason
its
why I say
authenticity?
that is because the all-powerful God could have given us, a simple, easy book, given us instructions on what to do. Not history. Everything is included in the Bible.
So what's the
and
maximum
another
amount of chapters you can have before something's considered to be too long?
I mean, if it was like the Quran, then I would have accepted it.
Oh, wow, isn't that convenient? Oh, it's like the Quran. Oh, okay. You know how many chapters in the
But
Quran?
you know where I'm coming from, innit? You know what?
You know how many chapters in the Quran?
Yeah, no, it's chapters, not books.
Yeah, I know. How do you know how many chapters in the
Yeah,
Quran?
there's a difference between chapters.
I know, and I said chapters. Do you know how many chapters in the Quran?
Yes, 114.
Is 114 too much?
No, because they're not books. They're just chapters, bro.
Do you follow other books outside the Quran?
Wait, and I do want to say one thing before you ask me another question. Is that I have a problem with the 10 cases of incest in the Bible.
Of the what?
10 cases of incest.
So you don't think incest ever happened?
I never said that. I said I have a problem God mentioning it because 10 times that he mentions it, he never says that it's bad. So when my child is
Do you
reading
think your
this
God thinks incest is bad?
I mean, if he tells us a story about it, then he would tell us that it's bad. But if the
I'm just
Bible
asking,
doesn't
do
say
you
that,
think your God believes incest is bad?
we're not talking about our God. We're talking about the Bible, right?
Yeah, I'm asking you as a Muslim, though. I'm asking if you're consistent in this. Do you believe your God says that incest is wrong?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So how did they repopulate after
No more
Noah's
questions,
flood?
please. Let's
No
talk
more
about the
questions. I'm
Bible.
gonna
Answer
ask a
the
question
question.
because it's consistency. I'm saying I don't think you're consistent in your beliefs. So how did they
Uh,
repopulate after the flood?
that's irrelevant to my question.
It's
What's this
not
got to do with my
irrelevant because
question?
you're mad at incest. You said, "Oh,
What's
okay,
10 cases of incest Bible? Wow, the 10 cases of incest. What's this got to do with me?
wow, okay." There's 10. There. Wait, you made a statement. You believe it's because the 10 cases of incest in the Bible. That's one of the reasons why you questioned. Okay, great. That's a statement. My statement back is, or rather, my question back
No,
is,
no, I
if
didn't say
that's the
that. Stop them.
case, why? What? How did they repopulate after the flood according to Islam?
You can't answer a question with a question.
What question did you ask me?
I said, what do you think of the 10 cases of incest? Can you answer me?
No, you said that. Oh my gosh. I don't think there's anything wrong with God mentioning the 10 cases of incest. Now, I want to ask
I
you a
would have
question
agreed.
back.
Nick, I would have agreed if there
All
was
right,
one or two
yeah.
cases
Take care,
and
bro.
God
Take
would
care,
have.
bro. Muslims are so dumb, bro. Oh, God mentions incest, and incest is. Oh, but yeah, did you not know that your God literally allowed incest after the flood? You didn't know that? Oh, that's cute. It's cute, man. It's cute. These people don't know their own religion. All right, let's see. Hello.
Yo,
What's up?
so I'm sure you heard this plenty of times, Nick. So I want to hear your answer to it. When they asked you, somebody probably definitely asked you, how many guys died on the cross? What do you tell them?
One.
Did the Father die on the cross?
No, because God's not a univocal term. When you say God, I'm not referring to the Father there.
So how many guys didn't die on the cross?
The same one God. I'm just using the God term, not univocally.
Wait. So Jesus died on the cross. He's God, correct?
Yes, and the Father did not die on the
Okay.
cross, so that's the same God, but yet distinct persons who are that same God.
Okay. So Jesus died on the cross, which is God, but the Father didn't die on the cross.
Correct.
So how many gods is that?
It's the same one God.
How you just made a distinction? You just made two different gods right there.
No,
One
I
that's
didn't.
the
I
Father,
literally
and
just
one's
said they're the
Jesus.
same God. I've been saying that.
So Jesus and the Father are the same?
The same God, yes.
Okay. Did the Father die on the cross?
No.
So if he's the same as Jesus, how come he didn't die on the
Bro,
cross?
how does them having the same nature mean
And
that
you,
they participate in
bro,
actions in the same way?
Bomba clot, bro.
What? Do you understand the difference between person and nature?
Bro, listen to me. You say Muslims are dumb.
Do you
Hold
understand the difference between person and nature?
on. You can't make this shit up,
Okay,
bro.
I get you're
Hold on, 1
nervous
second.
laughing, but can you answer the question? What's the difference between
Bro,
person and nature?
you answering a question
Bruh,
with a
stop
question,
nervous
bro.
laughing and answer the question.
You said the
Bro,
Father
what
died.
is the difference
You said
between
the
person
Father
and
didn't die.
nature?
Bro, hold on.
I'll ask one more time. What is the difference between person and nature?
I'm gonna say I don't know.
Yeah,
What
I
is
know
the-
you don't
what
know
is the
because you're an
difference?
idiot. I know you don't know. Take care. It's always the dumbest people, bro. Like literally always the dumbest people. Like the dumbest. Dear Lord. Squares West with 5 feelings you get the memberships. W man. God bless you. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you get the memberships. Timothy found out super chat. Momo had relations with his uncle, cousin, dead aunt in her grave, and that's a moral exemplar for cousins. Damn, Timothy going hard. Damn. Appreciate super chat, bro. Timothy going hard on him, man. Isn't that something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
You alright, Matt?
I'm good, bro. What's up?
Alright, you're a Christian.
I am, yeah.
Alright, before we go into that debate, can you tell me your views on the war right now?
If I what?
No, do you support the war against Iran?
Do I support the war against Iran? I don't
Yeah.
support any wars. I think there should be no
Good
wars.
man. Good man. Good man. Good man. Alright, so let's go into this debate now. I'm not that educated, but I'm gonna try my best, yeah. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, so in that John verse, I don't really know the Bible, but it does say that Jesus prayed to God.
Yeah, because God is 3 distinct persons, so the Son prays to the
Okay,
Father
you
to show
literally
us
just
how to
said-
pray.
You just said to that guy that God is one person.
No, I didn't. I said it's one God.
Exactly. What?
Brother, okay, do you know the
you've
difference
just
between
said
person
three.
and nature?
You've just said 3.
No. 3 persons, 1 nature.
All right, you genuinely, you honestly, mate, you genuinely, you tell me something very factual and strong. I will change to a Christian. I will change my faith right now. I will change my faith right now. Literally
Okay.
hand on
Sure.
heart,
I'll
I
just
will
give you one
change my
thing.
faith
Sure.
right now.
I'll just give you one
Go
thing.
on.
Literally all the historical evidence and every single historian that is accredited today agrees that Jesus did die on the cross. And Islam rejects that.
Because we believe he's a prophet. Do you understand?
I'm saying
what I
though,
mean?
all historical evidence goes against your claim. Every single
Mm.
piece of it.
Do you think the Trinity is real?
Yes.
Do you, well?
So can you acknowledge why every single
No,
piece
I
of
don't.
history goes against the
Everyone has
crucifixion?
everyone has the right to. Everyone has the right to their own faith. Everyone has the right
Oh
to
no,
their
I
own
know,
faith.
but I'm asking. You just told me to give you reason. I'm just giving you one. I want to hear your thoughts
Oh no,
on it.
yeah, I'm
So
listening.
why does
I'm listening.
every piece of evidence go with the crucifixion and against your belief?
To be honest with you, bro, I don't actually really know. I don't really read the Bible like that. To be honest
So
with
what
you, I don't
happened,
really
man? You
read.
said if I give you a good reason, you don't convert.
So what was your reason again? Please
The
explain it.
fact that all history points to the crucifixion and against your view.
It don't know.
Maybe you should convert to Christianity, bro.
No, but it don't know.
You're not part of.
Can you give me proof?
You're not a Muslim. You're not now. So what? You're alone.
Can you give me proof?
You mean talk to her or
No, give me
what's
proof.
he
I'm on
saying?
about you. Can you give me proof?
Proof of what?
No,
Give me
'cause you're
proof.
acting like you.
What is she, bro? Y'all talking at the same time. What is she saying?
Give me proof.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He gonna have to get his girl and come back, bro. He's gonna have to get his girl. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I hear them both at the same time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. His girl is exposing him. Yo, tell me I'm tripping.
Hello?
Did I not hear his girl say you're not even a Muslim? I think she was like low key, like, yeah. What's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry because my English is not the best. I'm from Germany. I'm Christian, and I wasn't alive before that. And then a Muslim asked me a question, because I believe in the Trinity, and he says how many gods died on the cross.
Yeah. What about it?
And sorry, my English is not the best. I can give him. Sorry.
You nervous or
said-
something? You nervous or something?
Yes, and my English is not the best. When I talk to English people, I forget my
You
English.
start giggling?
Huh?
You start giggling when you speak to English people?
Yes, a bit. He said, how many gods died on a cross? And I said, God the Son. And he said, then you have three gods and not one.
How?
Mhm.
How does that prove three gods?
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. I agree. I don't know either.
Yeah.
Amen. Appreciate you, bro. God bless. Lawrence Super Chat, the Shahada cooks your IQ. I think it does, bro. To be completely honest, I think it does. Join Nick's pay. Listen, if y'all are even thinking about debating, you need at least a year minimum in my Patreon. At least a year minimum in my Patreon before you start debating. Okay. But a year is like 365 days. Yeah, that's exactly what y'all need. Nick can't even debate for nothing. Come out and prove it. Not gonna lie, why does Nick get a lot of strange guests? I don't know. That's a grand question. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
Yo, what's up?
Nothing much, man. What you got?
Sorry.
Said nothing much, man. What you got?
You said give me a good reason not to be Christian.
Yeah.
I guess I would say the Trinity teaches three gods.
Okay, how does it teach three gods?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So the Trinity would be three persons, one essence.
Mm-hmm.
So the three persons would all be God, but they're not each other.
Yep.
How is that not three gods?
Because if there's a distinction between the persons via their personhood, all that does is make three different persons. It doesn't make three gods. How does being a different person make there be different gods?
Okay, so for example, when you say Jesus is God, right? Is that a statement of identity?
Bruh, I don't know what's wrong with your mic right now, I'll be honest.
Can't hear me?
Your mic is like really messed up. I don't know what's going on with the G.
Okay. Wait, can you hear me now better?
It's a little better, I think.
Okay, so when you say Jesus is God, right? Is that a statement of identity or predication?
Yeah, I'm making a statement using the relative identity operator.
Okay, so explain the relative identity operator.
Do you know what an identity operator is?
Yeah.
What is it?
So when you say A is B, that means they share all properties.
No, that's absolute identity. What?
Yeah, that's when you say you didn't ask what a relative identity operator.
Brother, what identity operators have nothing to do with what type of identity. Oh my goodness gracious. Bro, identity operators is something that's used in first order logic to denote a sameness relation between two things. I don't know why you mentioned having all the same. I don't know where the frick you got that from.
Is that not absolute identity?
No, what? Sameness relations isn't only absolute identity.
No, I didn't say that. I said is have sharing all the properties. That's absolute identity, right?
If you have all the same properties, it would be absolute identity.
Yeah. Okay. So what's relative identity?
Relative identity is saying that you can share a certain set of properties pertaining to a certain set, and that those properties can be the same, but that you can have distinct properties that are different from one another that distinguish you still.
So isn't that already assuming your conclusion?
No, what? How would that be assuming my conclusion? What?
Because under that, you're already saying that two things can be the same God but not the same person.
Because we're using the relative identity operator. The relative identity operator is what implores us to be able to do that in the first place. Because if you put it in a first order logic format, then we can actually understand that it would be logically consistent.
Does first order logic use relative identity?
Yeah.
It does?
Relative, bro. You can use any type of identity in first order logic.
It does. So, wait. So, first order logic uses relative identity?
Yeah, it can, yes. First order logic can use relative identity, absolutely, yes.
I mean, classically, does it use...
brother, classically it can use any type of identity, yes. Because relative identity is classical.
No, it's not.
Oh, so what type is it if it's not classical?
In classical logic, it uses absolute
No, wait,
identity.
okay, so what type is it if it's not classical?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What type of logic is it if it's not classical?
I'm saying it's not used. It's not conventionally used in classical logic.
Okay, if it's not,
Because
says
it
who?
doesn't.
Says who?
Because the transitivity of identity doesn't apply.
Brother, the transit. How do you think you have to use a transitivity of identity to be able to use classical logic?
Yeah, in some ways, yes.
In which ways?
What do you mean? What do you mean in which way?
In which way do you have to use it to be considered classical logic?
Because it uses, like, for example, in math, you need the transitivity of identity.
Brother, I'm asking about first order logic, not math.
Math doesn't use first
Do
order
you even know
logic?
how to read first order logic?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put
I
this
guess.
up on this. You said yeah. All right, I'm gonna put this up on the screen. I wanna. We'll just parse it out this way to make it easy. I'll put it up on the screen here, and we can parse it out that way to make it easy. I'll just pull it up again for my other debate. I need to just have it written down to make it easier. But okay,
Look, I'm not a logical expert, right?
it's cool. Okay, can you read that for us? Since you said you can read it.
Okay. So let's say the Father is not the same person as the Son, and then the Father is not the same person as the Holy Spirit, and the Son is not the same person as the Holy Spirit. So what does P brackets F mean?
Person of the Father.
Okay, and the person of the Father, person of the Son, person
And
of the
wait,
Holy
what type of
Spirit.
identity is that using?
In this?
Yeah.
Relative identity.
Is this? Wait, am I using classical logic here?
Wait, did I say you can't use relative
Okay,
identity?
great. So we can use relative identity in classical logic. So tell me what's wrong with this formalization here.
There's nothing wrong. Okay.
Amen.
The system, the formulation is consistent within the system because your system accepts inconsistencies.
Classical logic accepts inconsistencies?
No, relative identity.
How does if relative identity is in classical logic and classical logic doesn't accept inconsistencies, how does that follow?
Bro, you have logical systems that accept contradictions.
Does classical logic accept contradictions?
No, if you use those systems, you can formulate it in a way that it accepts contradictions.
Okay, I'm asking, does classical logic accept contradictions?
Not if you use absolute identity.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just asking. In every case, does classical logic accept contradictions?
In every case, no.
Please. In what case can you use classical logic and accept contradictions?
If you use a different system.
So what is paraconsistent logic then? What's the difference between classical logic and paraconsistent logic then, if they can both be contradictory?
They can both be contradictory?
Yeah, so then what's the difference then between paraconsistent logic and classical logic then?
Paraconsistent logic accepts contradictions?
Yes. So tell me what the difference is then between classical and paraconsistent logic.
Well, for one accepts contradictions, one doesn't.
Which one doesn't?
Classical.
You just said classical can accept contradictions in a different set. What are you talking about? You literally just said it can.
Oh, okay. So I meant just logic, not classical logic.
All right, bro. Take care, bro. You meant logic, not classical logic, even though this whole time I've been saying does classical logic accept? Yes, it can. Bro, these people just make stuff up, bro. I'm telling you, bro. These people legit just make stuff up as they go. Timothy to our super chat, year of learning beats 4 years of Islamic pregnancy. Bro, what? What? Why is someone saying, wait, what the freak? Why is VA going after my mods in the chat, bro? That's so weird. The heck? And he was just asking me to be a mod earlier. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi. I'm kind of embarrassed, but so obviously I I identify as a Christian, but there's a couple of things that confuse me. And I went into a live earlier and a Muslim was questioning me, and it sort of threw me off. So I thought I'd just come on here and ask you. I've got two questions basically. One of them is a 2-for-1. Obviously you said about there being the three entities, one being type
3
thing.
persons. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand. I don't know if it's because I'm on the spectrum. Maybe I just have a low IQ. But why does he need to pray if they're the same? Like, how come he doesn't know already? Was he born knowing? Because the Muslim I spoke to said that he was born and spoke at birth. I don't know. That sort of threw me a little bit. I'd never heard that one before.
He prayed to teach us how to pray.
Okay.
That was the whole reason. Not because he didn't know things.
Okay. And I guess my main question I wanted to come on here and ask was, what's the best Bible for me to read? Because as like I'm on the spectrum, it's really hard for me to read Old English. So I just wanted your opinion on the best one.
The Orthodox Study Bible is the best one to get.
Okay, thank
you. It's a
you.
red book, so yeah, it's on Amazon. I'd recommend getting that.
Okay, thank you. That's basically all I really wanted to ask.
No problem. Take care. Yeah, listen, I would recommend though, like if you are Christian, like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying in general. Don't go up on lives. Like, bro, listen. These Muslims would have no content anymore if y'all just quit going on their lives that don't know how to really debate and whatnot. I'm on the spectrum casually. Yeah, I was like, wait, is that a joke? Or I was like, hold on. What Bible did you suggest? The Orthodox Study Bible. Hello?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. What's
Is
going on?
everything good? Yeah,
Yep.
I just see, that you wrote, give me a good reason not to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Are you Christian? Are you Christian?
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, like I have this fact I want to share with you. Like it's regarding like how Christian pray. Yeah.
Okay.
How do you guys pray? Like usually.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Okay. And you can say that in any state, like whatever you are in bed, let's say any place, right?
Yeah, I mean, we sometimes pray with our heads bowed to the floor. Sometimes with our hands up to the sky. It just depends.
Okay. Any state you are in. So Muslims like they cannot do that. Like in order like to stand in front of God, like you need to like be clean, wash yourself, and you need to do it 5 times the same time. So
yeah, our God doesn't need us to be clean for us to talk
like
to him.
no, you need to be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Like not under the bed. Like you need to, for example, there is this prayer. It's called Fajr. You need to wake up at 5 in order like to pray it in its time. Do you
Yeah,
understand
we
what I'm
pray
saying?
all
So
day without ceasing.
I don't know. Like I feel guys like you cannot be lazy. You know. So
We
that's all
don't.
I'm
We
saying.
pray
But
more than y'all. We pray all day.
no. But like it's not like something accessible. You know what I'm saying? You need to be purified.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure if your God needs you to be purified to speak with him, sure, that's up to you.
No, it's for you. Like you need to make you show you that like it's not something like accessible. Like,
I mean, that's cool. You can believe that. Why does that? How's that a good reason not to be a Christian though? Because I don't see any of the prophets or apostles ever teaching that.
Okay. Do you know? We call it Allah, right? You don't have problem with this. Do you call it Allah too? Like
Do
your
I
God?
call to Allah?
No. Your God? Do you call it Allah?
Well, I don't speak Arabic, so typically no. I speak
Okay.
English, so I say God.
Okay. What is the language that Jesus spoke?
He spoke Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek.
Okay, Aramaic. Do you know that the word God in Aramaic it's Allah?
No, it's not. It's Ilaha. No, it's not.
Ilaha.
Yeah, you just lied. It's not Allah.
Yeah, but it's like the same thing because they're brother language, Arabic and Aramaic. So basically,
Well,
brother,
thanks for lying, brother. But take care, man. He thought I didn't know the actual language, and so he just wanted to lie real fast. And he just wanted to lie real fast, see if he could get away with it.
Yo,
What's up?
why did you blunder with Lipiano about proskuneo?
How did I blunder? What's the argument?
Argument is, in your discussion with him, you said proskuneo in, I believe, Matthew chapter 28, verse 9, and Chronicles, First Chronicles chapter 29, isn't the same proskuneo conjugation.
Uh-huh.
But that was a lie. So, what do you feel about lying
Okay,
about
what's
people
the
that donate to
conjugation
you?
then in Chronicles it uses?
The conjugation?
Yeah, what conjugation is used in Chronicles?
I can pull it up. Do you want me to pull it up?
You said it's the same. What is it?
Yeah, it's the
I would
same,
hope
but
you would
have to.
know.
You want me to
Okay, what
memorize
is a
Greek
conjugation?
words? Yeah, conjugation. Okay, is just a change that take place in a verb to express tense, mood, and you lied on it.
If
Why
I
do you
lied on
lie?
it, then tell me what the tense is.
The tense.
Yes.
Yeah, plural.
That's
It depends on the
that's what a
subject.
conjugation is, if it's plural or not.
No, conjugation consists. I named you three things: mood,
Also, I don't even
person,
think
and
it's
tense.
plural in Chronicles. Wait, hold on.
I believe the
Hold on,
Daniel's
let's pull
one.
that up, 'cause I don't even think it's plural there. Show me it's plural.
One of.
Yes,
I think
go to the verse in
Daniel's
Chronicles. Show me it's plural.
I think it was plural, or I think the Daniel one was plural. Let me just double check.
Yeah, go to the Chronicles one. Show me how it's plural. You said Chronicles so confidently.
Yeah. Second Chronicles.
Second Chronicles what?
Wait, I need to get my other device.
Oh, just tell me what the verse is and I'll pull it up. Second Chronicles what? Which one do you want me to go to?
Oh, the verse is First Chronicles chapter 29. I think that one was plural, or
All right,
it was
First
the one in
Chronicles
Daniel's that was
29, what verse?
plural. I don't know the exact verse.
So you just
I
making
think
shit
it's
up.
verse 21.
Okay, verse 21.
2021. And if it's not plural, then that's applied to Daniel. But you still like blundered on
All
that.
right. Well, we're gonna find out if you blundered right now.
No, I said if I did, it was going to be applied to Daniel's. So I corrected myself. Also, you just went with it.
Okay,
Even though
First
Libyano's
Chronicles 29, 21, right?
29, yeah.
So where the frick is proskuneo at there?
Chapter 29, verse 21, right?
Yeah, so where's proskuneo at there?
2021, I said. Go back.
What?
click the
You said
left.
what?
20 to 21. Just go back. That's all you have to do. Don't be nervous. It's okay.
Okay, verse 20 now. I guess it's not 21. Verse 20 now.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, nice one, Nick.
Let's go back to verse 20.
Bro, all I wanted to
Great.
know is why did you blunder? That's it. But you have too much ego, man. You know you blundered as well. You know that. But the
Sure.
people that you donate to, you don't want to own up. Why? That's just strange. Guys, you can look at the debate yourself. He did blunder.
Okay,
But
sure.
none of
Well,
the
we're gonna
Christians
pull it up,
call
don't
him
worry.
out for it. That's why I dislike about Christians. They're
Hey,
dishonest.
bro, you ever stop talking? Good lord.
Like, if I make mistakes in the past, I correct myself. I admit to it. This guy doesn't. That's why I don't like this guy.
I'm
And the
sure.
Christians that donate to him.
I am sure.
So
All right.
prove to me that the conjugations are not the same. You can't do that, Nick, because you blundered, boy. This is why
Okay,
you're so nervous now, boy.
we're here now.
Okay, put on your screen, and then put the one in Matthew on your screen as well.
Okay, we're here. Where do you see plural at?
Oh, he's right there. Third plural.
Where?
Are you blind? Plural.
Do you think that's talking about the tense?
Oh my god. Does it say plural? Yes or no?
What is the difference between third plural and
Stop
first plural?
stuttering. Does it say plural? Yes or
I
no?
didn't study. I said, what's the difference between third and first plural?
Study as
Like,
a
this is
start.
crazy.
Is it plural? Yes or no? It's right there, guys. Look.
Oh my god, bro! Can you just answer the question?
Don't kick me. Does it say plural? Yes or
I'm
no?
literally not answering. I'm literally just asking you a question.
Oh, why are you stuttering again? Is it plural? Yes or no?
Are you gonna answer my question or no?
Is it? And you lied on it not being indicative as well. You're a liar. It's plural and it was
What?
indicative. You said both forms. Don't try to act this.
Dear
okay.
Lord, can you answer the
said-
question or what?
Yes, it is plural. Yes.
That's not what
Now
I.
you
What did I
answered
do?
me.
What did I just ask you?
You want me to demonstrate why it was plural in this verse, and it clearly is.
No. What did
Now
I
go-
just ask you?
You asked me to demonstrate why it was plural.
That's
and
not
just
what I
did.
just asked, bro. What was the question I just asked you? Are you even listening?
I just told you. Is it plural? Yes or no?
All right, so you're not gonna answer.
Oh,
Are
you
we
realize
seriously
you
not gonna
blundered.
answer, bro? This is crazy.
Oh, Nick, you blundered. Wow.
I'm leaving you up longer than I want to. I just literally want to know if you know what I asked you. Like,
If you kick me,
do you know what I
it's a
asked
bad
you?
look on you. It's a bad look on you if
Oh
you
my,
kick me because you
bro,
blundered.
what the,
You
what,
lied
all
on
I
the
want to know,
conjugation.
listen, I won't even make you answer, bro. I won't even make you answer. If you at least can tell me the question I
Put it
just
back on the
asked you, I
screen.
won't even make you
Put it
answer.
back on your
I'll even
screen.
run you
Put it
that.
back on your screen. Put it back on your screen. Don't run.
But I'm literally
You said the
saying I won't even make you answer
He's
the
not gonna let me
question
speak, guys.
if you at least
He's
can
not gonna let me
demonstrate you know what the
speak.
question was.
Can I speak now? Thank you.
Okay, take
You
care.
said the
Take care. He's not gonna answer. Like, bro, I even threw him a bone, said I won't even make you answer anymore. Just tell me what I asked you so I know you're listening to me. Like, this is crazy. These Muslims don't listen. They're so slow. Boy, these just are slow. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. He doesn't know the difference between pluralities. Because when they were worshiping, was it a multiplicity? Were they offering a worship to a multiplicity, or was it singular worship? Oh. Singular worship. Crazy. All right, next. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
I had a few questions. So, which revelation did Jesus preach according to you?
The one in the Gospels.
What is it called?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
No, he didn't preach that.
Says who? Are you on a phone? What are you doing, bro?
Okay, wait. My bad. Okay, so did Jesus, did he request Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John to document his words to later
Yeah.
become a divine book?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking questions.
Yes, when he said
Can you
write
show me
these
where
things
he's...
down, yes.
Yeah, where did he say that?
I'll show you.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's what he said to John. Write down what you have seen, both the things that are now happening and the things that will happen.
He only said that to John, right?
Do I need to mention every single person, or?
I mean, it's considered a divine book, right? So
It
it
doesn't
has
mean that I
authority.
have to
So
mention everything. Okay, did he tell John to write down the things that he said?
if that's what you're saying.
Okay, so amen. So the gospel, what's wrong with the gospel of John?
So do you believe that it could be misquoted?
Nope, I don't see any evidence that's misquoted anyway. Nope.
Because it comes decades later.
How does that mean it can be misquoted? They were teaching it orally all that time. So how does that mean
So
anything?
why was it constructed like decades later?
Because
I
they
think
were teaching it orally up until that point.
Weren't two authors didn't encounter Jesus at all?
What are you talking about? Talking about
Two of
Mark.
the
He's probably
authors
talking
of the
about Mark
Gospels.
because Mark wasn't a disciple. It doesn't mean he didn't encounter Jesus at all. It just means he wasn't one of the 12 disciples.
No, one of them didn't live or didn't meet him during his lifetime, I think.
Oh, which one? Talking about Paul? When he met him when he met him after Christ died?
See, how do we know he didn't lie about that though? Where he saw the visions?
Because other people were with him.
What does that mean? It's his vision though. They won't see his vision.
No, they literally said that they heard the sound. So yes, they they heard it. Multiple other people. It was multiple witnesses.
Yeah, so the only thing I have with the Bible is that
Now wait, question now. How do you know Muhammad really got the revelation in the cave? How do you know he wasn't just lying?
like he just made up the book?
Yeah, how do you know? That he just have someone else write it down and just made it up.
I mean, if you ever read the Quran, that would be pretty hard to construct. And then one, it didn't happen like overnight.
What's hard
Took,
about
I
it?
think, You can no one's been able to match any of the languages.
What?
Like no one can formulate a text just like it.
Okay, so if I read from you a quote from the Book of Mormon, would you be able to tell me if or not it matches this? Like matches the Quran?
Read it.
Would you be able to tell me that?
If you say that again, sorry.
If I read
Can
from
read
you
the
a
book?
quote from the Book of Mormon, can you tell me whether or not it matches the criteria the Quran gives?
It's not about that because the Quran you can't see it's preserved through memorization. So
I know, I'm asking if I read to you a verse in the Book of Mormon, will you be able to tell me, because you said it's never been written and matching up with the Quran. So can I give you a verse in the Book of Mormon, you tell me whether or not it matches with the Quran or not?
it has to be the exact words though.
What?
It
What are you
has to
talking
be
about,
like
bro?
the. What do you like? What are you trying to say? Like
Brother,
the
you
Quran,
said the Quran is true because no one else has been able to give anything that is like it or as good as it.
I mean, you could probably come up with a maybe like.
Okay,
You
bro.
can't come up with the
Okay,
whole.
bro. You're slow. All right, take care, bro. You're slow. I'm not doing this. This is like we're literally talking to. I mean, bro. Hello?
Hey, brother, I just wanted to say God bless. Keep doing what you're doing. And M is a troll. Literally, he does this all day, every day in Christian lives because he's obsessed with us. So
He's probably just a Muslim. Yeah.
he is. He is. And he just trolls to troll because he has no life. But I just
Yep.
want to say God bless. Take
Appreciate
a
it.
deep breath. God's on our side.
Cool. God bless. Appreciate it. All right. Timothy Fado Super Chat. Hadith were written 100 years after Muhammad, or after, but Muslims accepted it. Sometimes, depending on the phase of the moon, it can be. Depending on the phase of the moon is crazy. That's hilarious. Ugh. Listen, with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and end the live. We've been live actually for over 3 hours. We've been live for like 3.5 hours, but the first live ended, so we had to, redo it. But listen, I appreciate you all hopping on. Again, if you guys want to, make sure you guys go to Eastern Orthodox service tonight. It is Pascha night. Check your local time for Orthodox Church. Go to it for sure. Also, that's why I can't stream for 4 hours. You know what I mean? I got to go to service. Not that I normally do, but yeah. Also, if y'all want, join the Patreon. Great way to support. Great way to learn things. Join the Patreon, link in bio. God bless you guys. I appreciate you guys all coming on and things of that nature, man. So yeah, I will see y'all next time. God bless you guys.